All right, back here to wrap it up. Thanks to Zach. Thanks to the Beast. Thanks to all of you for tuning in, calling in. Neil Rogers coming up next. Is Neil there?
Yeah, Neil's here.
How you doing?
Are we doing a crossover? I wanted to give me a chance to thank you for those scintillating call-ins on that.
The riveting adult drama.
Tape parade, that was phenomenal. That was maybe the finest moments in the history of my career.
Well, we're working on a cure for insomnia here from 8 to 10.
What's that, Dave Van Boring?
Oh,
see, I shouldn't have said that because I put you on a spot.
Yeah, you did.
I say Boogster does all 9 innings, all the games. The Boogster man, the orange head, man, get rid of that guy. Where the hell did they find him beside Montreal?
What the heck's going on? What are you doing?
What do you mean by that?
What are you doing? Where you been? I haven't seen you in like 2 years.
Don't try to change the subject.
Yeah,
What's going on?
I'm trying my
Just
best.
because you got to work with that guy. Is his hairpiece really worse than Moe's?
Oh, come
Huh?
on. You are clubbing me.
I hear he's got a hot wife.
You are clubbing me.
Why? I'm not clubbing you. I'm giving you kudos, man.
You give me cadoos?
In fact, I heard Mad Dog said on Friday he was at that where he was in an appearance somewhere.
Right.
And he said his face turned pink when somebody asked him, How's it working with Mo Howard David? He said he just sat there and his face turned pink. Probably not as pink as it was in New England yesterday. Oh man, are we going to hear lots of gnashing of teeth and whining
You
for the
love
next
it.
several days?
You love it too, don't you?
I did love it. It was great. It was a beautiful thing and very predictable.
Oh.
You could hear the choking, gagging sounds from Jay Fiedler and the Dolphins. You could just hear them all the way, no matter where you were.
Yeah, it was not a shocker.
No, not at all. Because you know that Fiedler, given up to his own resources, every key game, I'm not talking about your pedestrian game when you least expect it, but every key game when he was on the line, Fiedler, the choking sounds are unbelievable. You don't know when it's going to happen in the game, but usually at the worst possible moment, and again he did. Nice going, Jay.
Wow, you got some poison.
What?
You're cranky towards Jay Fiedler.
I don't have poison. I'm just telling. What did I say that was untrue? Tell me one thing besides Dave Van Boring lives up to his name, and the fact that you ought to be doing all 9 innings on a Marlin game.
All
By the way,
right.
you're not going to New York for the match.
No, I'm not going to New York.
All right.
Didn't I tell you that when I called in?
Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Shabba ain't leaving us.
Not leaving. Didn't I tell you that when I called in? Wasn't that a great appearance from the
I couldn't
parade?
hear what you were saying. It was kind of like, oh, I'm down here, and that was it.
And then you hung up on me.
Radio.
Yeah, riveting.
It was almost as riveting as Dave Van Boring. And don't get me going on this now.
I'm leaving.
No, you're not.
I'm leaving.
That promo, it's not even a promo, that trade-out spot we got for the Marlins, that they got his call. Now, what were you doing when he was sitting there with the Marlins on their final out win the World Series? You must have been peeing in your pants just thinking, what kind of a call is that?
I'm leaving.
Now, why don't you poke him once in a while? Get a red-hot poker and jab him a little bit to get a little excitement going in those broadcasts.
Can I go now?
You'll be pleased to know the Marlins were number 2 in Palm Beach in the summertime.
How about that?
Huh?
Yeah.
And you'll be pleased to know that the Neil Rogers Show was a very strong number 2 in midday.
Really?
Yeah.
They love you up there.
Afternoons were tied for 6th and mornings were 8th, but that was the Pharrell factor. Now that he's gone, God only knows how low they can go.
Absolutely.
The mornings, but we'll see.
All right, Nels.
Hey, listen, nice talking to you, Boog, and thanks again for the memories.
You got it.
You have no penis.
About 30, man.
Oh my God.
Miami has the Dolphins, they're the worst football team. They flub the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're on the ground, that's where they'll stay. They're never in control.
No.
And when you say Miami, you're talking toilet because they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins.
Oh.
Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
About 30, man.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Don't bet on them, you'll always lose.
Uh-huh.
They don't know how to tackle. They don't know how to block. Their coaches ought to tell them to put Bengay in their jocks. Then they would run much faster, and even in defeat. When we go to the stadium, we'll see Miami Heat, and they're the Miami Dolphins.
Oh.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
About 30, man.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. The team that hasn't got a clue. Miami has the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have no fans. Just 50,000 assholes sitting in the stands.
Yes.
They watch the game and all they do is moan and gripe and bitch. I wonder how Joe Robbie got to be so goddamn rich. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
About 30, man.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. I hear the crowd begin to boo. The Dolphins have Jay Fiedler. That quarterback's a Jew. Run down the field and he will throw a pass over you. He'll never win a Super Bowl. You shouldn't be surprised. When he gets cut, that doesn't mean that he was circumcised. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
32.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Jay calls his signals in Hebrew. The Dolphins have no defense and their offense is a joke. Like George Bush eating pretzels, you know they're gonna choke. They'll always disappoint you when they're in a playoff race, with fewer points than pockmarks on Huizinga's ugly face. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number, oh what the hell, 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, now they're through. All right.
It was a beautiful thing in the snow and the wind and the cold. It was a lovely thing. Aren't we cursed down here?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, I wonder what the mole man is going to be saying tomorrow. How once they put his teeth back in and his muskrat back on his head and hook the socket back up to his bag again. What is he going to be saying? Like that. Well, you know, the Patriots have been so lucky so many times this season, and they've just been. Yeah, right. See, you can't talk your way into having a good show. That's number one, Mo.
Oh,
but beside that, you can't talk your way into winning a ball game. You actually have to go out there and play it. Oh, what a concept. See, I think his mentality is perfect for the sports nerds because, yeah, we're great. Talk our way. We're going to the Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Heat are going to win the NBA championship. Dolphins certainly going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, there's no question about it. And, of course, the Marlins had to send poor Pudge packing. Let's take up a collection for Pudge. I'm so sick and tired of it. It makes my blood boil. Why don't you go out and collect some money for Pudge?
All right, I'll be right back.
So the Marlins don't have to send Pudge packing. And his comments, man, we'll get to that. We'll get to a lot of crap. By the way, did you know that William H. Macy's going to be doing a nude scene?
Is that I saw the previews of this movie, upcoming movie that he's doing.
They're
Is
cooler.
Yeah. Looks
William H.
cute.
Macy was more than a little nervous about doing nude scenes with co-star Maria Bello in his new movie, The Cooler. I was scared to death, especially when she said to him...
You call that a penis?
Yeah. He said to the San Francisco Chronicle in an interview published yesterday, Macy was married to actress Felicity Huffman, has 2 young daughters, and he was so concerned he insisted on meeting with Bello before production began. He said, how about those sex scenes? And she said...
You call that a penis?
Macy broke the ice when they got together at a restaurant. I guess in the restaurant he just kind of whipped it out so she'd see it.
Plopped it on the table there?
Right. In the film, Macy plays Bernie, a loser. He's great. He really is.
He is funny.
A loser hired by a casino to cool off hot or winning tables. His bad luck changes when he begins to have an affair with a cocktail waitress. And yada, yada, yada. Well, how do you like that?
It looks cute. I saw the previews just yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Well, let's go see it right now. Let's dump this crap. Nice having a Boogster on for a change, huh? I mean, he does not do a good talk show, but he's a great guy, great on the Marlins, on the play-by-play. And you notice he just avoided and evaded. I know that he can't say anything. That's why it's so much fun just putting him in a hot seat, listening to him squirm. Poor Boogster. Anyway, we got the Fat Boy was in there earlier and said a lot of amazing things this morning, which I'm pretty proud of him. Usually all he says is, "Hi, Pally!" And he said this morning a few other things, most of them not worthwhile. But anyway, we had the ratings from the Summer Book in West Palm Beach. You look at that, we're number 2, and we like it. Mm-hmm. WZZR-FM is number 1 in middays and men 2554, but they got a 12-1 share. We got an 8-6. That's right. We, George and yours truly. I just say that because they never give you no credit. Don't answer those phones, Josh, whatever you do. We're going screenless till the end of the year. Don't forget that. Okay? I know.
We can do it.
Because we got a lot of great calls going to come in today, like this one here on line 3, QAM. See? I told you. Now, I'm not going to press my luck. You know, just like that show. I'm not going to press my luck. In the morning, QAM was 8th for the 3-1. and that's 6 to 10 a.m., so it included Pharrell. Pharrell, rest in peace. He's gone. So you know that number's not going to hold up. Midday, an 8.6 in men. In Palm Beach County, Jesus Christ.
Right.
Afternoon's tied for 6th. The Goddess had a 6.2. She was tied for 2nd in Palm Beach County. Again, WZZR. What the hell is ZZR? They're a giant.
Don't know.
They got a 12.7 in the morning, a 12.1 in midday, and a 15.7 share in the afternoon in Palm Beach. Huh?
I got it sewn up. Maybe it's their ghetto music station.
Get out. WKGR and the Goddess. KGR is the Gator, right?
Right.
And they were tied for 2nd with a 6.2 in the afternoon. And the Humper and the Mad Dog were tied for 6th with a 4.2. And at night, the Marlins came in 2nd in Palm Beach County with a 6.9 share. But again, ZZR had a 14.5. What is WZZR? Somebody please tell us they're a monster in
Maybe
Palm
one
Beach
of these
County.
calls.
Whatever they're doing, we better start doing it right now.
Right.
Don't you think?
Right now.
They're a monstrosity in Palm Beach County. Of course, they're on FM. Oh, here's line 9. They probably got the information. QAM.
Hi.
I told you line 9 had the information. Make no mistake about it. Okay, we got too much stuff to do here today. We got to get it all in. Mad Dog is on at 2. We got a pristine schedule today, other than Joe, who was on last night doing sports at NBC6, crying in his beer. Oh, gee, we lost. It was embarrassing. Pretty embarrassing, if you ask me, getting shut out in the game of the season, the game that was a must-win. The Patriots just, they didn't have to win. It would have been nice. They clinched the division. That was good. And with Kansas City losing, the Patriots sit there right on top of the AFC. I mean, I just mentioned that in passing with pretty boy Tom Brady. See, you people out there that are all offended because there's a pretty boy quarterback happens to be good, they don't all have to be ugly with big ears like Jay Fiedler. Or guys who keep falling down like Brian Greasy. 1,483 votes on yesterday's poll. Which of these do you most strongly disagree with Neil about? There's some interesting things to analyze in there, you know what?
Okay.
And we will after the break because we actually have some spots today. And my favorite AE has the first one. That's what we'd all like to do to Todd Dreck. Imagine this. Imagine Todd Dreck floating stark naked in the punch bowl at your holiday party with blood pouring from his mouth.
All right. Stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
Hilary, what are you running for? Hilary, to be a senator in New York. Is it your ego? Yes, I think so. Are you from there? I don't think so. His term is over. Why not just go home? Hilary, you want your way. That's what throwing a tantrum is for. Go buy a Trackmaster or Bopex today to get in shape and trim the bulbous fat from those tree trunks you call legs. Hilary, I've got some bad news. Hilary, you are gonna lose. Go back home where a good wife should be, in the kitchen baking cookies. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Hilary.
Rectum.
Hilary.
Increíble.
Hilary.
10:18 at 560. Hillary was on all the talking head shows yesterday, man. She was on everywhere except Fox. Nice going, you go, girl. And she was pretty weak, I thought. Well, not weak in terms of her performance was fine. It was what she said that bothered me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, she's bright, like we said before the show. She's very bright. It's just that we can't stand her.
Right.
So that's going to be our first poll is going to be all about Hillary, and I've got some good choices. But first, here's the results of the weekend poll. Which of these do you most strongly disagree with Neil about? 1,486 votes. I don't disagree with much he says. 663, 44.6%. How do you like that?
All right.
That's almost half the audience.
Good job.
Now, if Rush were to take this poll, I bet you instead of 44 and a half, it'd be like 95%, right?
Yeah.
Ditto, whatever you say, right? In fact, those people are probably like popping their oxys right now. Because whatever he says and does, they want to do the same thing.
Those are chewable oxys.
And if you asked them about it, they'd say, what? Because they can't hear you. Disagree with Neil's taste in music. That seems to be the chigger in the woodpile, which, of course, you'll notice, do I play any music on this show? No, and that's why. I'm maybe a slow learner, but sooner or later you catch on. They don't like my music because I'm an old fart. That's the way it goes. 283, 19% don't like, they most strongly disagree with my taste in music, for which I make no apologies. I think I have great taste in music. You want to know why?
Why?
Because whatever I like it.
How about that?
Yeah, it's like saying, oh, you have crappy taste in food. Well,
I like everything I eat. Yeah.
I don't eat anything I don't like.
How about
I don't
that?
put anything in my mouth I don't like, and if I don't like it, I spit it out.
Really?
Oh, yeah. His politics, 178, 11.9%. Now, see, it's interesting because generally when we do the Bush polls, there's like 17 or 18% that are pretty consistent. Except that one about the 22% that got sucked in by that stunt turkey last week. Wow, that was pathetic.
I'm not over that yet.
So only, well, again, the question is, what do you most strongly disagree? So maybe we have some people who are kind of like bush lickers, but they only lick around the edges lightly. You know what I mean?
Just around
you know what I'm saying? Just a little like that. His views on South Florida, 140, 9.4%. Now, see, that is really revealing. Those assholes who say, well, this is paradise, you know, that crowd.
Sure is.
Well, what the hell is paradise about it? It's a swampland. It's a festering land of the malcontents and the misfits and people, the degenerates. No, I take that back. We need more degenerates. Religion, this is the best news of all. Only 112 out of almost 1,500 votes, 7.5% disagree most of my views on religion because they know it's all a pile of crap. Please use your brain. You know, I was watching Life of Brian, I told you last night.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about when they went to the stoning.
Right.
And they stopped and they picked up some rocks. They bought some rocks and stones on the way. Now, these are the same people that used to stone. Of course, I say they used to. They're doing it in Saudi Arabia today.
Sure.
But nevertheless, the same barbaric assholes that used to stone people to death in public.
Right. Well, of course.
And they wrote the same crap that all of these people are arguing, killing each other about today.
They used to sacrifice animals.
Oh, man. We're talking about the most primitive, the most ignorant people. Well, the good book says, well, who the hell wrote the book, you idiot, you asshole? If you aren't smarter than they are, it's time for you to, crawl back into the cave. Crawl under your rock.
A rock?
And, by the way, can we borrow it later for the stoning? Religion, 112, 7.5%. Most strongly disagree about his taste in movies. That's good. Only 4.1%, 61. 4%. I think I have excellent taste in movies, whether you like it or not. And I still love Magnolia. Oh, God, do I love it. I don't care what you say.
Okay.
I think you better wise up, mister. Yeah. You go, girl. At least you like Amy Mann, anyway.
Like her a lot. Like her for a long
Probably
time.
the only man you really like that much.
That's right. Not Manfred Mann.
Oh, I better not play that. They don't like my taste in music.
Well, that one's
And here comes the most interesting part of all. Just like that Schwarzer that called on Friday, who said he didn't agree with anything. And I said, well, you like Bush? Bush is a disaster. He said, So they just voted this to bust my balls a little bit, which is good. There's nothing wrong with having your balls busted by long distance once in a while. I don't agree with anything he says, 49, 3.3%. Don't agree with anything, but they still listen. Oh. See, that's the important part. Just like this caller on line 6, QAM.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That Jew Fiedler, take him with that muskrat-loving bitch.
Absolutely.
He's a little unhappy with Jew Fiedler after that weak performance yesterday. Choking, like I said. It's so predictable. That's what's funny. I don't know why anybody's surprised. Every now and then, it's the same pattern every season with him. He puts in a bogus performance against Dallas, and they score 40 points. Oh, we're talking Super Bowl, all that crap. And then when a really big game, when push comes to shove, when they take away his tzitzis, it's pathetic. And then, of course, that safety there near the end of the game, that was almost sad. That was above and beyond the call of duty, watching him get just cremated there in the end zone. That was sad, Jay. And I think he's right. And you notice who are joined at the hip? The two of them, Mo Howard-David.
Absolutely.
And Jay Fiedler joined at them. I think there's a lot of similarities there, just beside the lack of foreskin. I think a lack of foresight. Oh, guess who else had a lack of foresight? Speaking of Jews that make bad mistakes.
I give up.
Clarkstown, New York. Mistake number 1, impersonating a police officer. Mistake number 2, making a traffic stop. Mistake number 3, stopping an off-duty state trooper. Shalom Geldman, 22, of New Square, New York, made all 3 mistakes, state police said. Shalom Geldman. Gelbman, with a strobe light on his dashboard and his high beams flashing, pulled over a car Wednesday night on the Palisades Interstate Parkway, police said. Inside the car was Trooper Shamus Lyons, who arrested Gelbman. This isn't a make-believe. This is a new day. Shamus.
Oh, Shamus.
It was clear to Lyons that Gelbman wasn't a colleague, authorities said, because of his license plate number and the equipment he had in his car. Gelbman was charged with reckless endangerment and criminal impersonation, police said, and was cited for having unauthorized equipment in his car, a dark blue Mercury Grand Marquis with tinted windows. Gelbman was also ticketed for driving without registration or insurance. He was released on $5,000 bail after being arraigned in Clarkstown Justice Court. What a silly-ass bastard, huh? Shamus and Shalom. Hey, Shalom, Gelbman.
Shamus.
Anyway, here's the first poll today, because she wasn't all the talking head shows. See, maybe we'll find out from some people, because I know she'll do well in our poll. She always does, and she had 43%. They did this, and you know what really bugs me? It's one thing, you know they're going to do it. It's compulsory. They're going to have her on the shows, and right away, are you absolutely ruling out that you're going to run? You know, how many times can they ask you, Tim Russert, you silly asshole? God, you pasty Irish pig? God, is he a pig? And his wife is an idiot who wouldn't know a glory hole from her ass. Remember she wrote the book on Andrew Cunanan? That was Tim Russert's wife. Yeah. She had no idea what a glory hole was. What the hell is wrong with you anyway, honey? Jesus Christ. You know where she spends all her time?
I give up.
You're looking for glory holes.
Yeah. At Westland at JCPenney's in the tea room. Here's poll number 1 today. What is it about Hilary Clinton that you dislike the most? Okay, we got 6 choices. I hate her. She's a bitch. She's an ice princess. She's too smug. She's a lightweight. Or I love Hillary, and I like her. She's no G.W. Bush. Now, see, you don't like that last choice because you figure you could say that about a rock.
Or turd.
About a turd in a punch bowl. But nevertheless, we got to have some good choices on there because there are people who maybe they don't like her all that much, but at least they figure she'd be a much better alternative than W.
You could say that about Hitler.
Mortimer Snerd probably would be, too. What is it about Hillary Clinton that you dislike the most? I hate her. She's a bitch.
I voted for that.
Oh, I better vote.
Yeah, and you're right. They love her. I don't know why, but they do.
How do you know that? We get returns
I just
in already?
I just voted, yeah.
I haven't voted yet. I'm not saying what I voted. She's an ice princess. She's too smug. See, I didn't like any of her stuff yesterday. I thought she was like much too easy on the whole thing with Iraq, and she's justifying her vote in the Senate, which was totally wrong. She's a lightweight. I love Hillary, or I like her, but she's no G.W. Bush, etc. 10:27 at 560 WQM on a pressure-packed Monday, man. You can smell it. Shelley Bloom's Fashion Clothiers have been doing it right for a long time in South Florida for over 40 years in the same great location, and they're still going stronger than ever. You'll find Shelley Bloom's at 2650 Northwest 5th Avenue in the heart of the Miami Fashion Fishing District. At Shelley Bloom's, you'll find fine men's clothing. All you guys that want to look sharp, from suits and sport coats, slacks and dress and sport shirts, ties, and one of the largest selection of designer shoes anywhere in town. Shelley's got Italian slack Super 120s in 15 colors for only $60. It's kind of like checking out the gelato in Rome. Giorgio Armani suits that sell from $13.95 to $15.95 are only $795 at Shelley Bloom's Fashion Clothiers. Shelley even offers a fantastic selection of Italian suits starting at just $225 a piece. Service, selection, and price are what have kept Shelley Bloom in business for the past 40 years, and Shelley guarantees you that'll never change. The selection is fantastic, alterations always free, and with thousands of suits in stock up to size 70, fat boy, you're almost guaranteed to find what you need in stock. So stop overspending at the malls, stop getting ripped off, and make the smart trip to Shelley Bloom's in the heart of the Fashion District, open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. You want to compare a price, whatever, give Shelley a call, 305-573-5890. 305-573-5890. Shelley Bloom's Fashion Clothiers, no matter where you are, it's well worth the trip.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
The voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil God.
Hilary from Arkansas, Hilary from Little Rock, Arkansas. Got an idea from Tiffador, moved to New York and run for senator. All through the state, people shout your name, Hillary! You will never beat Giuliani. No, sir! The idea seems so silly. Hilary from Arkansas. Oh! Miss Hilary from Arkansas, right out of the cornfield on Hee Haw. Husband Billy is a naughty boy. When you leave the house, he'll jump for joy. Whitewater now, just a memory. clue. No, sir! You and Bill are so damn slippery. Hillary from Arkansas. I think you should run, honey. Well, hell yes, I do. I think you should devote all your time to it. And I'll just, I'll stay home, you know. I'll take care of things. Taking care of business. I'm a BTL fan, man. Miss Hillary from Arkansas is the damnedest thing I ever saw. You're a twitty little goofy dog, 'cause you never have lived in New York, so change your mind, run in Illinois. Hillary! We don't believe that you're a Yankee fan. No, sir! You're a dope-beating bad Democrat. Hillary from Arkansas. Hillary! Hillary!
10:34, Did I mention there's another dead American soldier on a drive-by shooting in Mosul today? Did I mention that?
No, not on the air.
Well, there is. 65 votes. What is it about Hillary that you dislike the most? Is our first poll today. I hate her. She's a bitch. 21. I love Hillary. 18. Now, why are you saying that they love her so much when the leading she's a bitch?
Because I love her is in second place.
Well, I love her. 18. I like her. She's no G.W. Bush. 16. She's too smug. 6. She's an ice princess. 4. She's a lightweight. None. Nobody sells her short. Nobody says she's a lightweight. But, so if you look at the positive against the negative, 34 love or like her, and 31's got some problem with with her. See?
Mm-hmm.
Very polarizing. You either like her a lot or you can't stand a bitch. Hate her. Despise, like in George. Larry faxes us about the Irish Catholic report on sex abuse that we talked about on the show on Friday and was on our website last week. Thanks a lot, Larry. Greg in Sunrise says, I have great news. My country can't even fly to the space station, but we're going back to the moon. In fact, Dave Halberstam might have something to say about it. I'm not going to play it.
It's long.
It looks like the fanatical conservatives finally spun the clock back to Camelot. Being a polio survivor, I'm expecting any day for somebody to shove me down saying, move it, Gimpy, just like the good old days. I'd have been truly impressed if my president had said what he should have said on 9/12/01. Within 10 years, all new vehicles sold in the U.S. must use no fossil fuel. Screw the Saudis and their oil. With the same conviction as Kennedy did when he promised we'd be on the moon within 10 years. Yeah, I say let's send a whole bunch of Nazis to the moon. What do you say?
Oh!
All right.
All right.
They can operate the whole government by long distance. Sounds like a good idea to me. 60 Minutes last night pissed me off. See, all these politically correct assholes, all you ugly people out there, I know ugly. I know what it's all about to be ugly. And if you're just too ugly to work for Abercrombie & Fitch, too stinking bad. Now, the most important segment on 60 Minutes last night was the second one about the Karbala, Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
And they, right after March, after the shock and awe, and then, of course, in May, when the president said, oh, yeah, the war's over, it's all done, the hostilities are over. So they went about their business, and being a bunch of religious freaks that they all are there, they had an election. They elected their own leaders, and they organized everything. They got things going. It's a city in southern Iraq, and the U.S. said, not so fast there with your democracy ideas, and they overturned him. They put in charge the police chief, who was a Baathist, who was one of the henchmen under Saddam. They made him the police chief. And not only did they overturn the results of the elections, but a couple of the guys, including the one that they had the segment on last night at 60 Minutes, they sent him off to a prison. Yeah. What's the one? Steve Croft. He's the one who did that report. And so he went to the prison. They interviewed this bitch, the American bitch who's in charge of the prison. And said, well, what about so-and-so, Ahmed Mohammed Schwartz? What about this guy? And, well, and they looked in the computer, and sure enough, he's in there, but he's got no representation. They can't tell him what the charges are, and they're still working on it. And he's been in there for 2 months.
Why are you asking so many questions?
Yeah, exactly. So this seems to be the whole idea now under the Bush Reich, is that not just in Iraq, but in America as well, they're going to spirit you away. And no attorney, nobody knows where the hell you are, what you did, no charges, and don't ask no questions, and then maybe somebody will see you again or not, as the case may be.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the first story last night, I can't believe you didn't see it.
No, I was, I don't know, smoking.
It was about Abercrombie & Fitch. And believe me, their catalog is with me. I have only one question about them, and that is, where do I find those people that they have on those catalogs? Good God Almighty. And then they showed the people in some of their stores, the Abercrombie & Fitch stores in the malls. And they look just as good as the people in them catalogs. I mean, holy moly. Thank the Lord he made people like that. So the crux of the story is they're being sued because there's always an attorney that'll sue somebody for some crap, no matter where you are. And they're being sued by a bunch of malcontents who used to work for Abercrombie & Fitch, and then they discovered, guess what, they were ethnic and ugly. So you can be ethnic. No, seriously, they got 13% ethnics working for them, which is more than the population of the country. But which ought to be more than enough. And you'll see ethnics in the catalogs. There's beautiful Asian people. There's beautiful light-complected black people. Are there any beautiful dark-complected?
No.
Well, that's another story. But the fact of the matter is they got plenty of minorities. But if you're ugly and ethnic, or even ugly and non-ethnic, you're not going to work for them. I think they have a right. If they want to have beautiful people that look according to a certain place, like you said before, it's like if you have an Italian restaurant and somebody comes in and wants to sue you because you're not serving a chop suey. But we don't want to sell chop suey. It's not our bag, man. It's not our bag. Go look in Moe's bag.
Absolutely.
You'll find some sushi in there. This Pudge Rodriguez, man, he pisses me off more than I could tell you. Not that I care about the Marlins, because I don't. I'm not going to pretend. Although I am pissed off about Dave Van Boring. You notice how Boog evaded and avoided that? That was fun. I like doing that. That was great. Because he squirmed a lot. And he knows he ought to be doing the whole game and that Dave Van Boring is an abortion. And if you don't believe me, just listen. We got a whole bunch of them, I'm sure, again today. When we got the next one coming up?
I don't know. When's the next rejoin, Josh?
What is that called? Is it Marketing Architects? Is that what it is?
Huh?
I don't think so. Is that it?
No, I don't know. Well, where the hell? I don't even see it on a log. The Marlins,
I don't think it's a logged thing.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Well, how can it not be a log thing? It goes on for about a half an hour.
It's just one
and
of
then it finishes with that grotesque call by Dave Van Boring as the Marlins win the World Championship. That somebody ought to be in prison. Let that guy in Iraq, in Karbala, let him out and put Dave Van Boring in there is what I say.
All right.
You ought to get 10 to 20 just for being so pathetic. Sid says, what about Hillary's thick ankles? I didn't know she had thick ankles, did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're thick.
Her ankles?
Yeah, really thick.
Cankles.
What about her nuts? What about her balls?
They swing low.
What about her thick?
She's got a hairy pair.
Anyway, let's see how she's doing. She might not be doing as great as you were afraid. 113 votes, just in a matter of moments. What is it about Hilary Clinton you dislike the most? I hate her. She's a bitch, 32. I love her, 31. I like her. She's no G.W. Bush, 29. She's too smug, 12. She's an ice princess, 6. She's a lightweight, 3. So you take the positives, is 61. So the negatives is 52. Pretty tight. Pretty tight. 10:41 at 560 WQM. We're going to get in hundreds and hundreds of very important calls today. You just have the feeling today is the day we turn the corner. You know it, don't you?
Oh, no.
I do.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to E&F Tire and Auto Repair to the Neil Rogers Show. E.F. Tire and Auto Repair is at 5083 North Federal Highway, just a mile and a half north of Sample Road in prestigious Pompano Beach. At E.F. Tire and Auto Repair, experience the difference. Experience makes. All EF mechanics are ASE certified technicians, current with all the latest technology, and most have been with the EF team for almost 20 years. Not quite.
About 30, man.
But almost 20 years. The EF team has over 200 combined years of experience. And no job is too big or too small at EF. From a blown fuse to a blown engine, from a 73 Toyota to a 04 Bentley, EF Tire and Auto Repair does it all. All jobs are meticulously double-checked for accuracy by the shop foreman, and every car is cleaned upon completion of the work. EF honors most extended warranties, and while you wait, service on most repairs as well. Let me say it again. While you wait service on most repairs, you just sit on your ass, read a magazine, and bada bing, it's all done. EF Tire and Auto Repair, they're at 5083 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Call 954-426-9926. That's 954-426-9926. Ask about their 90-day same-as cash, no interest credit card, too. EF Auto and Tire Repair, nationally recognized as one of the most successful automotive repair facilities in the entire U.S. of A. At EF, their motto is, nobody cares more and nobody will work harder to earn your business.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Chelsea Victoria Clinton arrived 3 weeks early on February 27, 1980 at 11:24 p.m. While I was recovering, Bill would put his foot on my throat, yank me by my hair, and say, "Woman, don't spoil her." I said, okay. Chelsea was sold by her opium-addicted father when she was 8 years old. Chelsea looked at him and said bad things about her daddy. That sealed the decision for Bill. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But even more frightening, at the age of 15, Chelsea had come back to haunt us. She escaped and returned home, only to be sold again to a whorehouse. Who would want to do that to kids who had never done anything to them? Me, Hilary Clinton. Chelsea said, "Come on, Mom, don't do it." "Oh, yeah, right," I said. Looking like a dazed boxer who had just been pummeled in the ring, she leaned toward me and whispered in my ear, "You bitch."
1046 at 560 WQAM. I hate her, she's a bitch, has got 38, and I love her, has got 37. And I like her, she's no GW, got 35. We got a good battle going on there in our first poll of the day. Better take a quick call. WQAM.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Any chance of hearing the Manich and Rick Weaver going back and forth with yes, 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 number one?
No. I told you we better take a quick call. It was pretty quick.
Right.
No, actually, what I probably should play it on every rejoin, on every after every break all day today. I already played it once, but it's such a classic, and the way he says it.
A stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
Yes. You can say that again. And there's nothing worse than that cow manure in the snow and the wind like that. Man, oh man. Why do all the strange stories, not all of them, but most of them seem to have something to do with New York?
I thought they had a Florida tie-in.
A naked samurai, no, they haven't gone to Florida yet. A naked samurai sword-wielding martial arts expert screaming, "I'm God, I'm immortal," hacked his wife to death yesterday in a blood-soaked Bronx rampage, police said. This is in the Daily News today. When the madman lunged at police, one cop fired 14 shots, bringing down the suspect, but also hitting her partner twice. The cop's vest stopped one bullet from hitting his chest, though another slug penetrated his knee. The wounded cop and suspect are in stable condition. His relatives mourned 24-year-old Kisha Denton and wondered what caused her husband almost to decapitate his wife of 1 year. "She's like the other half of my heart. She wasn't just my sister-in-law," said Nicole Forbes, 27, sister of suspect Ivor Forbes, an unemployed computer technician. "I loved her very much." Don't trust them computer geeks. We already learned that.
Mm-hmm.
The bloodshed erupted around 5 a.m. when Ivan Forbes, 32, allegedly butchered his wife in their Pelham Parkway apartment using 2 ceremonial Japanese swords. The stocky martial arts black belt swung so hard he bent one sword on her head and also nearly sliced through her neck and cut off her left hand, cop said. "I noticed his wife was on the floor covered in blood," said a neighbor who went up to a first-floor apartment at 2199 Holland Avenue after the noise woke him up. He was naked. Kind of like William H. Macy. "She was still alive. She looked at me like she wanted help, but at the time I could not do nothing," said the neighbor who didn't want his name used. "At the time I could not do nothing. I was just terrified and afraid for her and afraid for my life, too." The neighbor ran back to his apartment and called 911. About 5:15 in the morning, 2 cops knocked on the door, greeted by a blood-stained naked swordsman. "I heard him screaming, 'I'm God, I'm immortal, I can't die,'" said neighbor Liz Zacuto. She then heard the cops order him to surrender. "Get down, put your hands behind your back," one of the cops yelled. But Forbes lunged at the cops, and one of the officers squeezed off 14 shots, hitting her partner twice and wounding Forbes multiple times. One of the cops hitting her partner twice.
She needs to go back to the range.
Oh, man. Luckily, though, he had the vest on. 83rd time a vest likely saved a cop's life, is what it says here. Neighbors said Forbes and Denton seemed happy, often were spotted smiling when walking together. Police had no prior domestic incident reports from the couple, and Forbes had no criminal record. He apparently wasn't on drugs, and no one is sure what sparked his rage, a policeman said. He was charged with second-degree murder and criminal possession of a weapon. "My brother was a wonderful person," Nicole Forbes said. "He just had some emotional problems that we're still trying to sort out." Yeah. He just instead of punishing the guy, all they need to do is send him to an anger management course.
That's right.
Like all the jocks, every time they murder somebody or they beat up the crowd or rape some poor broad or beat the crap out of their girlfriend or wife or both. They just need anger management. You'll hear that a lot on QAM, by the way, as we continue making excuses for scumbags. I'll make no excuses for this scumbag, though, the Pudgemeister. And this isn't about sports. This is about greed. This is about absolute What is this Rican with a fat ass? What does he want? You know it?
Money.
They're offering him $20 million for 3 years, plus each year he gets the other $3 million from the $9 million he was supposed to get last year, which they paid him $3 million. There's like $3 million a year going to carry over. So he'd be getting $10 million a year for the next 2 years. Oh, gee, and he's whining and belly aching. "I tried my best to remain a Marlin by now requesting a salary increase," he said. in a statement issued by his obnoxious agent, Scott Boras, whatever his name is, Scott. To my knowledge, I'm the only, in fact, wasn't it Scott Boras that was on our radio station and somebody was kissing his ass? It was disgusting. It was nauseating, Hank.
That was funny.
To my knowledge, I'm the only major leaguer in recent times who won the World Series and received a postseason MVP award, and yet his club did not offer a salary raise. I mean, you got to give credit to the Marlin organization. They signed Castillo. They signed, what the hell's his name? Turnberry. Michael Lowell Turnberry. Although Michael Lowell's contract, of course, is contingent starting in November on having a new stadium deal made, but so it's like blackmail. But nevertheless, at least unlike Wayne, this crowd, they win a championship, and they're trying to legitimately to keep the thing intact, to be competitive, so they can blackmail the city and get a new stadium and then keep the thing going. But no, this Rican with a fat ass, oh, gee, I'm wounded, I'm hurt. How much does one Rican with a fat ass need? You know, wouldn't you think $10 million a year the next 2 years might cover his tortillas? Wouldn't you think?
It wouldn't cover his ass.
Would definitely not cover his ass. He'd need about $20 million on each cheek. You piss me off, Pudge, okay? Always was a Pudge fan. Always thought he was a pretty outstanding human being. Okay. I should have known when he was crossing himself before every pitch. That should have been the tip-off, you know what, when you deal with religious nuts.
Right.
Cannot stand. These jocks are always either, yesterday it was the Kansas City game, they're getting just blown out by Denver. They're getting buried. And one of their Schwarzers on there makes some kind of a play, and he's pointing to the sky and he's jumping. I mean, you're losing 45-27 for Christ's sake. You're getting murdered. You're getting buried. And he's doing a jive-ass point to the sky thing? Man, what is that crap anyway, huh? I'm getting a little pissed off about all this garbage. There are more important things in the world going on besides ball games. You never know it on this station, I'll tell you that.
No.
Because this station is all about crap.
Sports.
Right. Here's a good story for you. Well, we better take a call or two, though, because otherwise they'll get antsy.
That's right.
WQAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Best place in Florida to get a slice of
Can
pizza.
barely hear you. Why are these calls so low today, Josh? I can barely hear these. Go ahead.
It's them.
What is it?
What do you think the best place in Florida to get a slice of pizza?
To get a what?
Slice of pizza.
Oh, brother. Woo!
Mm-hmm. That was worth it.
I told you these are going to be good calls today. WQAM. See, nobody there. So that takes care of those two calls. You think that these people will be foaming at the mouth about the Pudge ban, about sending Pudge packing. WQAM, line 1 is working again, thank the Lord. Hello.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's time that we get behind our Dolphins. I don't want to hear no more of those stupid songs. Wayne's great. Howard's wonderful. Jimbo, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And we're going places.
They choke. They're going all right. They're going right in the toilet bowl is where they're going. You idiot.
He got that out with a straight face. I'm impressed.
He's just trying to be a comedian.
Sure.
He is. He's just trying to be funny. He thinks he's a real comedian. Just like the one before him. You're real funny, pal. Not. Yeah, these guys, we ought to get behind them. Yeah, about 100 yards behind them, because otherwise the stench, like the Mad Dog said, that stench of cow manure, man, it'll just make your nostrils melt. This story will make you mad. In fact, you know what the heading is on this? It stinks to high heaven. How do you like that for a segue? Pentagon advisor Richard Pearl faulted over Boeing rule. Another crook. All you got is crooks running the country, running your lives, and this guy's sitting back worried about the Dolphins. You better grow up, mister. I'll tell you that right now. People that are obsessed with ball games and hockey games and crap like that, they need to get a life.
The odd man advantage. That's the 4th penalty.
Get out of here, Foster. You're dead. Anyway, Pentagon advisor Richard Pearl came under fire Friday for failing to disclose financial ties to Boeing Company, even while championing its bid for a controversial $20 billion plus defense contract. Don't you people understand what this is all about? Halliburton and Boeing and Bechtel, don't you get it?
No.
When are you going to wake up and sniff the goddamn daffodils, you clowns, you fools, man? Like I said, they like rape. They like getting raped like Mo.
Absolutely.
Just take your pants down, bend over, and tell the government, hey, stick it in there, man.
Right. Feels good and good for you.
And be sure and stick some steel wool in there first, too. I love the pain. Pearl co-wrote a guest column in a Wall Street Journal newspaper this summer, praising the plan to lease, then buy 100 modified refueling planes a year after Boeing committed to invest up to $20 million in Trireme Partners, a New York venture capital fund in which Pearl is a principal member. If ever there were an argument that traditional business practices are ill-suited for defense transformation, the saga of the tanker leasing proposal would count as People's Exhibit A, Pearl and a colleague wrote in the Journal on August 14. It stinks to high heaven, said Keith Ashdown of Taxpayers for Common Sense, a Washington-based federal budget watchdog group, of Pearl's failure to disclose his ties to Boeing in the piece in the Wall Street Journal. Mr. Pearl's entitled to his own views on the tanker deal, said Peter Flaherty, president of the National Legal and Policy Center, a government and corporate accountability watchdog. We think that the public is entitled to know that he has a relationship with Boeing when he's expressing his views. Pearl's role adds to the ethical questions dogging the tanker deal, placed on hold by the Pentagon this week for an audit of suspected contracting improprieties that contributed to the resignation last Monday of Boeing's chief executive. How do you like them apples, huh? Last month, lawmakers voted to allow the lease of no more than 20 tankers and the purchase of up to 80 rather than an approach that would have cost $5 billion or more over time. Is a high-profile assistant defense secretary under former President Ronald Reagan, Pearl carries a lot of weight in Washington, widely credited with helping to lay the political groundwork for the March Iraq attack. Miserable, nasty, filthy, crooked son of a bitch, him and all of these other right-wing fascists that have stolen control of the country. And you're sitting back there worried about, is Dave Fiedler going to choke again next week? I got news for you. Next Monday night against the Eagles in the PP Park, that should be like the kiss of death, baby. That should be ugly as it gets. That should be uglier than me, that should be uglier than Mo's ass,
Absolutely.
Which is saying a lot. God. What am I getting all worked up about? It's only Monday.
That's great.
Got to remind me to pace myself here. Put in my pacemaker, right, Mo?
Absolutely.
That's right, got to crank that baby up. And I noticed, of course, the Mo man couldn't get back from snowbound New England in time to be on the air this morning. You'll have to wait for the alibis tomorrow. Well, they were lucky again, they only scored, their offense didn't score just 3 points in the whole game. But you know something, Mo? 3 points would have won the game. 3 points would have won the game against the anemic, offenseless Miami Dolphins. Because they looked at the clock and the map and the calendar, wherever they found it, up their ass, and they found it's December. And those same choking, gagging, gurgling sounds came down there. In fact, Dave Gurgley, he'll tell you about him. The Gurgley man. I think he's the one that makes them. Is he really on our station?
I don't know.
10:57 at 560 WQM. It's the most wonderful time of the year. That's what Andy Williams used to sing when we liked Andy about 100 years ago when he was about 50. But one of the things you hate, in fact, here's several of the things you hate: the crowded malls, the heavy traffic, the long register lines, parking hassles. These aren't pleasant. So make your gift giving a lot easier this year for you and your loved ones. Give a gift certificate from Dial a Mattress. And how to get it? All you do is make that one simple call. 1-800-MATTRESS. Give the gift that they'll be thanking you for year in and year out, night in and night out. Dial a Mattress. You hear that?
I heard it. Uh-oh.
Dial a Mattress has gift certificates in any denomination, and a new bed for the master bedroom makes a perfect gift you'll both, or maybe all three of you, will enjoy for years to come. At Dial a Mattress, no phony promises, no bait and switch, just great discount prices every day on the brand names you know and love and trust, now including Stearns and Foster Hewitt. Dial a Mattress has the guaranteed lowest prices anywhere on Stearns and Bananas Foster. When you call Dial a Mattress at 1-800-MATTRESS, you pick the day, the time for delivery. You know how it goes. Any 2-hour window that's convenient for you when you want them to show up, and they do, from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, like noon to 2, 1 to 3, 2 to 4, etc. Sleep on a mattress like I do from Dial a Mattress, and your back will feel the difference. Honest sales practices, fantastic, unbeatable, everyday low prices and service, same-day delivery, free setup and removal, so it's easy to see why all of these things have made Dial a Mattress #1 in the world in customer satisfaction. So do what we all do at QAM. Get yourself a Dial a Mattress and a great night's sleep for years to come with just one simple call. Call 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES, or online. Check them out at mattress.com. Happy holidays from all your friends at Dial a Mattress.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Neil, fuck you.
Skip out the top, O.J. Simpson was a hero, loved by millions across the land. He went to visit his ex-wife now. She was hanging with another man. The Juice went home now for a knife and ski mask and a pair of gloves, and back he went. She was tipping her friend the waiter and giving more than 15%. Well, Juice couldn't take it, started slicing and dicing, don't you know, was at the airport before they fell. He made a touchdown in old Chicago. Checked in at the Alibi Hotel. But the LADA, well, he flagged OJ for illegal procedure with a knife. That's a prison yard penalty. He said with conviction. That's what you get when you hack the wife. Out on the LA freeway, in a getaway Bronco, pressing something to his skull, wishing he was dead. But it was a cell phone, no, not a pistol. Suicide by tumor, deep in his head. Well, they finally got him. Now it's up to the jury, but he will surely be in jail for life. And now the people, they all say they feel bad for OJ. They forget it ain't okay. Oh, to hack the wife, yeah. Hack the wife, baby. How come time made OJ so black?
I don't know.
I killed Nicole.
Yeah, we all know. It's 11:05 at 560 WQM. Happy Monday to you. So anyway, that's in honor of our Samurai warrior in New York. Maybe he was listening to Hack the Wife. He got inspiration. Could be. Hey, here's a breathless, before we do that, the poll result, 208 votes. What is it about Hilary Clinton you dislike the most, and what did I say? She's extraordinarily polarizing, kind of like the Bushmeister. You either like her a lot or you hate her. I like her. She's no G.W. Bush, 56. I love Hillary, 52. I hate her. She's a bitch, 50. She's too smug, 22. She's an ice princess, 16. She's a lightweight, 12. So the positives are 108, and the negatives are 100. See that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't get too much closer than that.
No.
108 to 100. At any rate. Here's the fact that says, did you hear about the local news event concerning the Huizenga clan member? Yes, I did.
Yes.
Got it right here. See, I'm on top of this crap, man. Don't assume just because I'm out of touch with reality. By the way, for Paul Castronova, the Toronto weather report, we didn't get any snow, any of that crap, neither did upstate New York. Neither did Buffalo. Oh! How do you like that, or Rottenchester? It all kind of like swept through Pennsylvania and then up that northeastern corridor. Jersey, Philly, New York, Boston, all of New England. Anyway, it's already it's a beautiful sunny day, and it's already up to -2. 28. Oh! What's not to like, right? And tomorrow, sunny and 40. Oh! There's the weather report for Castronova. Fort Lauderdale police arrested Robert Ray Huizenga, son of Miami Dolphins owner Wayne Huizenga, Friday night. He must have had a psychic premonition the Dolphins were going to tank it yesterday in New England in that 12-0 loss.
And he was in the tank.
Friday night on a DUI charge after his sport utility vehicle struck a pedestrian, a police official said. Uh-oh. Woo! Not good. Huizenga, 41, was turning left on Las Olas Boulevard from Southeast 13th Street about 7 p.m. Friday night when he struck a 71-year-old man who was trying to cross Las Olas Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale Police Detective Clinton Ward said. I wonder if he's kin to Burt Ward, or maybe Ward Cleaver. The unidentified man was taken to Broward General Medical Center with a serious head injury and a possible broken leg, Burt Ward said. Officers put Huizenga of Fort Lauderdale through a field sobriety test at the scene and at a BSO's office holding station, Ward said. Huizenga was handcuffed at the scene and later charged with DUI. Friday marks the second time Huizenga has been charged with drunken driving. In 1995, the BSO arrested Huizenga on DUI charges. Court records show he entered a plea agreement and served 6 months probation. Huizenga, an avid sports fisherman, is vice president of Huizenga Holdings, Inc., which his father chairs. Huizenga's brother, H. Wayne Huizenga Jr., oh, my God, Junior. Don't you love all those juniors? Huh? What I was trying to say was...
Grab my junior, honey.
Is president of the company, which owns a variety of businesses involved in sports, car sales, and hotels, including your unctuous Miami Dolphins, who stunk the joint out in New England yesterday, a performance so degrading and embarrassing. How is Mo going to talk his way out of that? Let me say it again. You can't talk your way into winning a sporting event, Mo.
Oh, sure you can.
No, you can't.
Watch them.
Oh, well, the picture, and see, just because you talk in a big stentorian voice, like everything you say, like you're the authority from God, you know, everything you say is like the emissary.
Absolutely.
Don't make it happen, baby. Don't make it happen, sweetheart.
Yes,
Just like when you dropped a bomb, okay? It was a dud. It was a dud. It had like a little fizzle on it and then petered right out. Speaking of petered right out, molesting priest beaten to death. Seem to be a rash of these, you know?
Let's hope.
What do we say about molesting priests who are beaten to death besides?
All right.
Lexington, Kentucky, home of the Red Mile. A retired Roman Catholic priest who admitted molesting 3 altar boys in 1995 was found beaten to death at his home, police said Saturday.
Oh!
Joseph Pilger, 78, was found dead in his home Friday night. An autopsy Saturday found the cause of death to be multiple blunt force injuries, according to the Fayette County coroner. The death is being investigated as a homicide. Pilger lived alone until the last month when Pilger lived alone until the last month when a young man began staying with him, said his neighbor, Karen Owens. Owens said Pilger's car, which had been at his home earlier in the day, was missing Friday night. Pilger pleaded guilty to sexual abuse in 1995 for abusing 3 altar boys in 1968 and 69 when he was their pastor in Morganfield, Western Kentucky. He was sentenced to 5 years probation beginning in January of 95. Earlier this year, Pilger was named in a sex abuse lawsuit against the Diocese of Lexington and Covington. Pilger had declined to comment on the allegation. I guess he ain't going to be talking about it now, is he? Probably not. His mom. And, well, we got a whole bunch, which is a great lead into our second poll that we're going to start at noon about the religion thing. And you'll notice only 7.5%?
Right.
Disagreed with me most on religion.
That was very heartwarming.
Which I say, that's great. Maybe we only have the heathens listening to this show, which is good. We don't have to be like overburdened with those born again, with all them those serpent twisters, whatever the hell they are.
Wafer eaters.
The God Squad. The rosary bead manipulators.
Rubbers.
Yeah, they're rubbing it. Boy, is there anybody in the world? That'd be a good poll question. Who's hornier, born again Christians or Catholics?
Mormons.
No, seriously, because I think born-again Christians lie about it more.
Sure
Catholics, they're horny, but at least they admit it, then they go confess it.
Right.
But born-again Christians, they got nobody to confess to, so they just lie about it. Oh, we would never do anything like that. Well, and they got their fingers crossed and their legs crossed and their eyes crossed. And what is that thing about religious freaks who got I've talked about this many times, but it's just strange. It's like people in cults, which is what they are. And they get those raccoon eyes, you know, the deep-set eyes with the black rings around. You know what I mean?
The ignorant, blissful look.
No, you know what I'm talking about. Like they've been brainwashed, like they've been sitting in a chair for hours and days and weeks on end being indoctrinated, which they have.
Right. When your brain is sucked out of your head, your eyes sink in there.
Their brain was sucked out?
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about born-again Christians again. I thought you were talking about Catholics.
Either.
What is it about Hilary Clinton that you dislike the most? 230 votes. I like her. She's no G.W. Bush, 64. I love Hillary, 57. I hate her. She's a bitch, 51. She's too smug, 26. She's an ice princess, 19. She's a lightweight, 13. So you got 121 positives and 119. Wow, that is as close to 50-50 as you can get. Now, I realize we do have more negative category, but what else are we going to say? Should we just say she's okay?
Fat ankles.
No, because that's not the question. It's not responsive. And, of course, I created the question. I could have said, what is it you like about her the most?
Cellulite.
Is it the fact that she's got them thick ankles?
That's right. Tankles.
Now, where did we find out about that she's got thick ankles?
Well, Josh brought it up, but this is a fact.
Because she certainly has no breast, that's for damn sure.
No.
And she certainly is about as sexy as a fruit fly, which is why Bubba was screwing around all them years. And I say more power to him. Oh! You go, Bubba.
You don't remember that video of them walking on the beach, Bill and Hillary there?
Oh!
All pasty and cottage cheese.
Oh, my God.
The both of them.
She makes Chelsea look good.
Wow.
In fact, that dolphin performance yesterday made Chelsea look good. That pile, wow. 12 minutes after 11 at 5:60. Just like that thing. Now, you remember the leper in Life of Brian?
Yes.
And as he was tiptoeing away, he tiptoed and just missed a big pile of donkey manure. It was you had to watch. See, the Monty Python movies, you got to watch real close up, man. Otherwise, you miss something.
That's why you have to see them 20 or 30 times a year.
You talk about attention to detail. Even the beginning, where usually you would press play to get the movie started, you don't do it because there's all this stuff going on, and you just sit there and watch all of the crap before you actually watch the movie. Hey, speaking of crap, there are a lot of people out there eating crap for the holidays, but if you want to stay on your Atkins diet, here's a story that'll get you all kinds of tasty treats without packing the pounds on. and God forbid start packing it again. But let's head Pudge packing. What do you say? I bet you he's been packing a lot with that fat ass. You know what? Can you just see him gorging, just shoveling down them tortillas and bean burritos? Oh, my God. How'd you like to be downwind from him when he cuts a fat one, the Pudgemeister?
No, thank you.
Anyway, a visit to Delights of West Boca will turn you on to thousands of great items that are low-carb, sugar-free, all of these things. To help you stay on a straight and narrow path, they got bagels and breads and cheesecakes and brownies, muffins, chocolates, pastas, sauces, cheese and dips, soups, ketchup, Carbolite, ice cream, and lots more, including apple cinnamon granola by Carb Sense. Crunchy pretzels by Carb Sense. Chew them slowly and carefully now. They got individual-sized cheesecakes in 4 flavors. Control carb brownies in 7 flavors. That's their most popular item. They are delicious. They got Jeff's chocolate and vanilla egg creams, less than 1 carb per drink. How do you like that? Champion Light drinks are back in 5 delicious flavors. Simply low-carb bread with stevia and a uniquely delicious taste, and La Nuba jams in 7 gourmet flavors so you can jam on it to your heart's delight. And at Delights of West Boca, the great part of the deal is you can try anything in the store before you shell out any cash and buy it. And they have the Atkins products on sale today, next Sukkot, Christmas Day, Easter Sunday, every day, 7 days a week. In fact, they're open every day from 10 to 10. They're on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. Call Delights toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB, LOWCARB, because no matter where you are, it's worth the trip to stock up on all the good stuff, or find them on the web at lowcarb.com. Delights of West Boca, it's your official Atkins Retail Center. Watch your step, Dr. Bob.
Live and local. Here's Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Birdliner on Sports Radio 560 WQAM.
Oh, I don't know what it is about them, their whiny little voices or their big noses, those goofy hats, tiny little schmeckles. I don't know, they just rub me the wrong way.
Anti-Semitism lives in every speech Hillary gives. It's in the news. Oi! Hillary hates Jews. Spewing hatred through the halls, busting people's matzo balls. It's in the news. Oi! Hillary hates Jews. You won't catch her lighting a menorah.
No.
God, she must have a wonderful aura. When she speaks, I want to cry. She could use a good rabbi. It's in the news. Oh! Hillary hates Jews.
264 votes. It's about an hour since Eric put it up and the poll, too. He stuck his poll up on there. What is it about Hillary Clinton that you dislike the most? I like her. She's no G.W. Bush.
Thank you as well.
75. Nice. Yeah, he's got the... Are you watching this? He's got people sitting behind him are too old to live in Cemetery Village. They wouldn't even let these people live in my mother's condo complex. They're so old. He's signed the Medicare ripoff. I mean, the beginning of the end of Medicare bill. The screw you in the back to all you old fogey bill for Medicare. 264 votes. I like her. She's no G.W. Bush, 75. I love Hillary, 63. Keep this number in mind, okay? That's 138. I hate her. She's a bitch, 59. She's too smug, 32. She's an ice princess, 22. She's a lightweight, 13. So what did I say? 138 to 126. She's got a little tiny edge. She's got an edge to her. 567-0560. We're waiting for these calls to start pouring in here about all sorts of things that you're all whipped up about, it would seem to me. Wouldn't you think on this Monday?
Oh, yeah, Pudge.
Because this is my new format. Now, I finally, after all the tinkering, after Greg Reed screwed us up with that 9-1 crap, which really set us back, and we're still trying to recover from that. And then, of course, with that horrendous lead-in.
Absolutely.
And then we had that temporary reprieve for a few months until what's-his-name got fired. Pharrell. But we're we're constantly trying to retool and grant tinker and figure out just exactly what it is I want to do because, I still like my bedtime stories, but we got to intersperse some of these great calls like this one on line 1. QAM?
Hi, can I speak
Yes?
to Neil, please?
Speaking.
Hey, Neil. Hope you're having a good day.
I'm having a great day.
Just recently, all the radio stations down here on the FM band have switched to this, I don't know, new technology to me where they broadcast the name of the artist and the title of the song.
Mm-hmm.
The only station not doing it is Power 96.
Well, screw them, man.
You got that right, buddy.
Well, no, I think the reason they do that is they don't want you to know the crap that they're playing, because if they tell the kids what they're playing, they'll say, oh, my God, they're playing that crap?
Well, take it easy, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Pally. Power 96, there's a guy taking a cheap shot at our good friend Kid Curry. Bastard. Oh, my God, what I just did, you wouldn't believe. I can't tell you.
You spilled.
No, I can't tell you.
All right. You spilled.
Huh?
You spilled.
No.
Okay.
Something really gross.
You blew a booger.
I'll tell you before, huh?
You blew a booger on your papers.
No, much worse. I'll tell you tomorrow before the show. Remind me.
Okay.
Even I wouldn't tell this on the air. No, it's just. Oh God, I can't believe I did that. WQAM.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Wow, Screenless today, huh?
Yeah, every day
Oh, that's a great thing.
on the new improved QAM.
I just wanted to call up and just, kind of spread my opinion about something here because I'm a school teacher here in Broward County.
Right.
I'm taking today off because we just moved. So I have a little issue with you. I don't know if you've ever heard about the superintendent for Broward County for the schools, the one that gave himself a 20% raise.
Right.
Well, he gave himself a 20% raise, and he's over a $300,000 a year salary, and the school teachers out here are starting at like $32,000 a year, and we're just fighting like crazy to get a 5% raise, and they rejected it, and I just kind of wanted to voice my opinion over the air that I think that really stinks.
It sucks.
Well, have a great day, and maybe I can be a football player like Jay Fiedler and throw a few
Or maybe you could go over and help Pudge Pack as he's leaving town. Maybe give you like about $25,000 tip.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to be his new makeout partner, though.
Good luck, Pally.
Have a great day.
You too. Well, there's a school teacher, and you know something? We can argue from now until the end of time. America doesn't respect school teachers. It's a profession that's looked down upon, and that's because Americans value stupidity. That's why Arnold is governor of California. That's why people admire people who are like illiterate, like Sly Stallone. That's why the dumber you are, the bigger progress you make. You're a bigger stupid star, like most of these jocks who couldn't even make an X by the goddamn line to sign on a contract for all these millions and millions. You know, see, I don't want to get into this whole thing because I know that I'm farting in a windstorm. Especially on this radio station. But every year it's the same old, well, you know, the players realize and their agents realize they can only push this so far. They pushed it so far, every time you turn around, here's another bunch of overpaid jocks, guys who shower together and slap each other on the ass with a towel at the workplace. These are guys that are getting paid millions and millions and still never have enough. So we have a strike every time you turn around. There's not going to be any hockey season, by the way, in the NHL next year for anybody, for at least the whole season and maybe more. And speaking of that, what a segue. Thank you, sir, for being a good school teacher, okay? Now, I respect school teachers because if without them, look how dumb the public really would be, you know what?
Right.
Just imagine if we paid some real money to get, teachers really make it a motivating factor for people to want to be school teachers, okay? Plus the environment in the classroom today. What kind of a maniac wants to be a school teacher today?
Right.
When I had my dinner with my old fogey friends here the other night, my little personal reunion with two of my friends from high school 2 nights ago, and we talked about that. I mean, you don't want to sound like an old fart, but it's true. You're not an old fart yet. You're getting close. But the fact of the matter is, the kind of stuff that goes on routinely in schools right now, nobody ever heard of when we went to school.
Right.
It was unheard of. Right?
Right.
So how is this going on? Oh, well, we don't want to pay the school teachers because they go to Highline in the summertime. Right, that's brilliant. That's great. Enough to make you want to gag. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. So what do you think? Are we going to send Pudge packing?
Yes.
Oh, I started to say the thing about the Panthers. I knew. See, I'm getting too wound up. The Panthers, you're a bunch of liars, by the way, the Panther organization. There's some very nice people that work there. I thank them for everything they've done for me. They probably won't talk to me anymore. But you're a bunch of phony, baloney liars. And you people in the NHL, you can keep pretending there's 80 million. When the Leafs shut out Boston last week, 6-0 that night, the attendance was announced at 13,000 and some odd, which still means thousands of unsold tickets. They said the place was half full, which means about 8,000 or 9,000 people at the Fleet Enema Center. And the same thing at the Mac Arena. But I'll tell you how desperate they are to put on a dog and pony show with the Panthers to pretend we have hockey fans in South Florida. Gary Bettman, the commissioner, who's horrendous, a nightmare, a man who's destroying the sport. Gary Bettman is coming to town for one of the games, and maybe the Boston game Wednesday. And so all of us season ticket holders, including yours truly, we get an email from the organization announcing that, hey, you can get 4 free tickets for that game because we want to put on a good show for Gary Bettman and make it look like there's a lot of people supporting the Panthers. Are you following that?
No.
Yeah. So if they have 3,000 season ticket holders and they're going to give away 4 free tickets for each, that's 12,000. So 12 plus 3 is 15,000 right there. Assuming those people would show up, which they won't. But talk about, I mean, you can say you had 50,000 people in there sitting in each other's laps, and we can see with our eyes. You're not fooling Gary Bettman or anybody else. Everybody knows the attendance numbers are bogus. You pick them out of a hat to make it look good. God. I'm just too worked up for a Monday. I might have to take several weeks off.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well.
26 past 11 at 560. What do you say?
Okay.
Sure, no problem. You've deserved it. Take a few months off. Screw these guys. These goyim over there sitting in the tree with their banjos over there in Naples. Bunch of nose pickers. It's that time of the year again. Everybody is stopping by your home for the holidays. I'm sure it started already. It's not too late to call Dry Concepts and rid your carpets of the germs and schmutz that are deep inside. Take care of those carpets. Clean them fast. Clean it right by calling Dry Concepts like I've been doing for over 20 years in my house. Dry Concepts is hands down your pants the leader when it comes to protecting and keeping your carpet colors vibrant, sparkling clean, leaving your carpets smelling lemony fresh, soft to the touch, and they're dry in a couple of hours. You're ready to rock and roll and party again. And don't forget, Dry Concepts is the only company in the world that dry cleans your carpets. Same idea as dry cleaning your clothing, and believe me, it works. Call today, ask them to put you on their standby list, save an extra 15% off the already reasonable price of the job. And please keep in mind, Dry Concepts always gives you a written guaranteed price up front before they start the work. No bad surprises at the end of the job. You have enough to worry about during the holidays, so leave your carpets to Dry Concepts. Call them right now, 1-800-248-5071, or certainly when the holidays are over, that'll be the time to have them come in and make your carpets look new again after your guests trample them up and really schmutz up the house. Call 1-800-248-5071, or check them out on the web at dryconcepts.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
D-A-Y-S-U-C-K-S. What kind of day is calm and collected, with the best chance of getting elected? Married 16 years and never cheated. What kind of day can knock you defeated? With your help, I know she can win. So vote for Hilary Clinton. She's got the guts to stand by her man. If she can't do it, no one can. She's blonde and a lawyer too. Just think of all the laws she'll push through. Get out that ballot and write in for Hilary Clinton. Her mate's a gold tourist, that's true, but he ain't for nothing that Bush hasn't tried on you. The other candidates are fine on TV, but not half as fine as Hillary. Vote early, vote often for Hilary Clinton. Pick up a great political wise of history who outshined their husband just like Hillary. Imelda, Cleopatra, and Eva Peron, but next to Hillary Clinton, they're all outshone. Vote early, vote often for Hilary Clinton. H-I-L-L-A-R-Y. Hillary, she's our guy. From the great state of Arkansas, she looks like she got off the set of L.A. Law, and that's totally cool by me. So vote for Hillary Clinton.
King of Jan Reno, I'll tell you that. By the way, that piece of copy you were going to send me, you never did, and it's coming up in the next break. But anyway.
I beg your pardon.
Don't you remember I told you I lost a piece of copy before the show? I was doing my usual Pokemon, getting everything organized in my organization. See, I'll tell you what I did before. I'm not going to tell you exactly, but I'll give you a clue. You know, when you're doing a show in your underwear, it's easy to do a mo.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Oh, mo.
Yeah. Oh, no. And start. Well, let me just say this. If you were to call me Old Stinky Finger right now, that would have been, or at least not now, before the break. See what I'm saying? That's why I don't want to get too graphic. Well, it's pretty embarrassing, man. That'll teach me to be a little bit more antiseptic in the morning before I come in here to do a high-rated radio show, is to be a lot more antiseptic. At any rate, 313.
Absolutely.
He can relate. The old Dingleberry Meister. 313 votes. What is it about Hillary Clinton that you dislike the most? I like her. She's no G.W. Bush. 92.
Part of our efforts.
I hate her. She's a bitch. 71. I love Hillary. 67. She's too smug. 41. She's an ice princess. 28. She's a lightweight. 14. And she ain't never going to work for Abercrombie and Bitch. You can be sure of that unless she plays the bitch part. So let's see. 92 and 67 is 159, right?
Okay.
Which leaves 154. Wow. 159 yay and 154 nay. As they say in Nederlands, nay. Now this obit, well, this isn't really an obit. It's just a guy quitting. And this is pretty emotional for a guy that's just retiring to write kids' books.
I thought it, who does it mention died?
You thought what? No, he didn't die.
Oh, thank God.
No, it says he plans to write children's books. This is Charlie Folds. He's stepping down December 15 after 46 years at Channel 7 WSVN, your hysterical, hyperventilating station.
I thought it
and
was.
by the way, Rick Sanchez, who's not on that station, isn't he on 6? You can't complain about Ricky Ticky Sanchez's ratings. He don't have any. He barely makes a little in the Richter scale. So the word is, according to Jicka, I think it was, they're going to try to goose up the show and make it more like Jerry Springer or more like this. Just get rid of him, okay? Just dump him. It's a lost cause. Put him back on the news. Do something. Move out that silly Tony Cigaretto. God almighty. Anyway, so Charlie Folds, it says, he was Toby the Robot.
Yeah.
Bumbling Vampire Countdown, the
right on.
Shy Prestidigitator Mr. Magic, Duffo the Clown, and several others. He was all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
It says not to ruin things for a generation of South Florida kids who grew up thinking Toby, the Count, and all the others were separate individuals, but they were all played by the same guy, WSBN's Community Relations Director Charlie Folds, who announced he's stepping down December 15 after 46 years at Channel 7. You go, boy. Nice going, Charlie. Whoever you are. I don't know who he is. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I do. I grew up down here, remember?
No, but I mean, do you know who he is? No, that's not the spot, see? You've got the Emerald Coast. I'm talking about the Gold Coast. I got the Emerald Coast.
Sorry.
You got the wrong coast, man. You're on the left coast. I'm on the North Coast. You're on the left coast. Jesus, God almighty. We've been talking about this for, 4 hours now?
Yeah, but I thought you found
4
it.
hours to fax me a piece of copy that I must have eaten or something in a moment of hysteria. Maybe I wiped with it. Oh, I found the Emerald Coast. I didn't find the Gold Coast, and since we love their food so much, and since you got freebies from there and we such a great place, we don't want to screw that up, do we? No. Anyway, Fold 65 plans to write children's books, an ambition honed during his quarter-century in costume as co-host of various WSBN kiddie shows. I always wanted to be a writer, he said. I even tried to get a job at the Herald when I was 11, but somehow I ended up in television. Don't ask me why. Hey, Charlie, we have one question for you.
Why?
As Community Relations Director, he's been the public face of WSBN at a host of events like the Winterfest Boat Parade, has listened to thousands of complaints about programming, and has parried countless cranky questions from reporters about which anchor was secretly checking into drug rehab. Oh, I'd like to find out the answers to that. In fact, maybe he even knew a few things about Miss Kamal. He can say, we don't comment on station personnel backward and in several languages in his sleep. Folds, who grew up in Vero Beach, started at WSVN, then known as WCKT in 1958, editing movies to remove the hells and damns from the soundtracks and cutting them to make room for commercials. You go, Charlie. Nice going, whoever the hell you are. Right? He's no Wayne Chandler. I thought Wayne Chandler was some of them people. George?
Hello.
Yeah?
Sorry, I was on the other side of the room looking for that copy.
I thought Wayne Chandler was some of those characters you were talking about.
Wayne Chandler hosted the Sunday Funnies with Toby the Robot.
I see. WQAM.
You miserable son of a bitch.
Bastard. WQAM.
Yeah, he's talking about Charlie Baxter, isn't he?
No, Charlie Folds.
That was a different guy.
Different guy.
It's not Empty Graves?
Charlie Baxter was Empty Graves, different guy.
Different guy, really?
Man. Different guy, different graves. Okay. I mean... Can we get anything right on this show?
No.
No matter what it is. Well, no, that wasn't right. It was really, okay, whatever you say. God. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Glad to see the audience seems to be in a fairly good mood today in spite of that grotesque Dolphin loss yesterday, that embarrassing humiliation, which was very predictable in New England in the snow and the cold, and, of course, all the other stuff going on. All of these things. WQAM.
Neil, please.
Speaking.
Neil, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Okay, actually, I just got in the car, so I have no idea what you're talking about, but I have to tell George something.
Well, go ahead and tell him next time you talk to him. WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, welcome back to Toronto, even though I'm calling from Miami. Listen, a trivia question. Who was the guy who played the White Baron on WCIX?
The White Parrot?
No, the White
Ferret?
Baron, like Baron von Ratsky or something. It was a local guy. He drove around in one of these little white kit cars, and he had a local show, kind of like MC Graves, but it was a younger, skinnier guy.
We don't know. Somebody will call in and tell you.
You gotta know, Neil. You've been down here almost as long as me.
I don't even know who the White Baron was. I never heard of the White Baron.
He had a little.
I heard of the Red
too.
Baron and Snoopy. I don't know who the White Baron is.
I'll sing you a little jingle if you want.
Go ahead.
Look out, it's the White Baron, dressed in white from glove to boot, but he never gets a spot on his pretty white suit.
Oh, yeah, Big Wilson. I don't know. Well, somebody will call in and we'll find out. There's the question of the day. Who the hell was the White Baron? I still don't have that copy.
No, and neither does anyone in the building, but we're tracking it down.
Well, what do you mean neither does anybody in the building? It sounds like a real mystery to me. How could a piece of copy that was in my red folder just kind of disappear and vanish into thin air like that? I think it's sabotage. I think Todd Dreck
keep a copy of the copy, and I don't have my copy, and neither does Jen have her copy, and she keeps copies of the copy, and she doesn't have it, so we have to get out.
Uh-oh.
So just move it.
Something's going on here.
You copy?
No, well, maybe I'll do the other spot. I'll move it around with the next spot.
Yeah, shuffle it.
To give us some time, we'll shuffle it out. Oh, I just got through doing this spot because, what's your name back there, the water Nazi? How's Katrina doing?
I haven't spoken to her today.
Oh, because she had lost 9 pounds of balance for life. I sure hope she's staying on a straight and narrower path.
I was up to 10.5.
I beg your pardon?
It was up to 10.5 pounds.
She spoke to Josh, apparently.
It was up. Now, is that like in past tense, or is that like an update?
I mean, that was last week, so, I mean...
10.5 pounds. Nice call, Katrina. You go, girl. Even though your mom's really a pain in the ass. And your mom makes a log. Your mom makes a log like, oh, my God, like my little dog used to have wild diarrhea in the living room. Anyway, let me just tell you about our good friends at Dollar Mattress. Now's a good idea for you. Make your gift giving a little easier without facing all the traffic and hysteria out there. Just give a gift certificate from Dollar Mattress. Call them now, 1-800-MATTRESS, and give the gift they'll be thanking you for a year in and year out. Dollar Mattress has got gift certificates in any denomination you want. Jewish, Goyish, Mennonites, whatever. And a new bed for the master bedroom makes a perfect gift you'll both enjoy for years. No phony promises, no bait and switch, just unbeatable discount prices every day and the brand names you know and love now, even including Stearns & Foster Hewitt. Dollar Mattress has got the lowest guaranteed prices on Stearns, Bananas, Foster anywhere. When you call Dollar Mattress toll-free, you know how the deal works. 1-800-MATTRESS, one easy call. You tell them when you want them to show up, and they do. Any 2-hour window that's convenient for you when you're going to be home from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, and guess what? They'll be there. Honest sales practices, fantastic service, everyday low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal all make it easy to see why Dollar Mattress is ranked the best in the world in customer satisfaction. So for service like you only dream about, like you really couldn't believe they really show up, they do. Call Dollar Mattress toll-free, just like I've been doing for years. Call 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES, or online, mattress.com. Happy holidays from all your friends at Dollar Mattress.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560, QAQAM.
Stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins. .47 at 560 WQM. So anyway, the rear portion, CNN is hyperventilating about this as though it's the end of the world. The rear portion of the old Uptown Theater on Balmuto Street near Yonge and Bloor in Toronto collapsed at 10:30 this morning.
Oi!
They've emailed them to us, and we're just in the process of downloading them. I've had access to
Did you hear him say process?
I
Get out of the way. This is.
Yep.
I'm just going to move out of the way here. I don't know where my camera has gone right now. We're getting out of the way. This is another one of the heavy urban search and rescue vehicles, David.
Demolition crews are inside a shuttered building when a wall gave way, crashing into adjacent buildings, including a private school. Several people are trapped inside the rubble, according to emergency services, and are hyperventilating. Ready for that?
On CNN?
Now,
Well,
again,
this is City. Well, they were a minute ago, but I figured I'd put on City Pulse since it's a little more local and up to date, as opposed to CNN, which don't know how to find Toronto on a goddamn map, stuff like that.
So Boog
now
called. What? Now
comes an amazing thing. And see, I told you we'd find a copy. You're getting all panicky for no good reason at all. Just be calm like me, okay? Hilary suffers. See, I saw this fax and I thought, right, we're not going to get sucked into this baloney. But it's legit. Hilary suffers from a very serious affliction. It's called cankleitis. Did you believe this?
No, of course it's a joke fax.
No, it's not.
Nevertheless.
It's not a joke fax.
Okay.
Okay. A lower leg phenomenon in which one's calves extend through the area which should be ankle, forming a hideous mass of exaggerating calveness. It's on the internet. There's all
is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, you don't believe me.
All right, I thought it was a joke. I'll believe you. Why would you
I
lie?
thought it was a joke, too. That's why I looked up cankles.
Ah.
It says, this is a condition that results in the calf and the ankle becoming one singular appendage. A person afflicted with this condition has cankles. There's even a place called Cankle Sufferers Anonymous.
For those who are cankle sore?
Huh? She's got cankles, and you're making fun of the bitch for crying out loud. What's wrong with you, man?
So, and cellulite, too. Suppose you're
Cankles
going to make me
and
feel bad
cankles.
about that.
So who the hell was the White Baron on WCIX? Does anybody know?
Boog O'Brien called.
And said?
Guy Alward, something like that.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, there you go.
Well, here's the official AFL Cankles Corner. No, that's not it. That's not it. Go back. Like the Beatles would say, go back. Urban Dictionary, 3 definitions. Here you go. Urban definition of cankles. What does that mean? In obese people whose calves don't separate or distinguish from the ankle. I can't believe she wears sandals with those cankles, for example. Yeah.
They give you the proper usage. That's nice.
Right. If I didn't have cankles, I might be able to wear those Prada loafers with my capri pants. What?
Yes, small thing.
So I guess there is such a thing, huh? Or is this all just one big hoax? Maybe it's just a series of hoaxes that we're getting sucked in on.
We have it available.
Okay, and just quickly, for those of us not as familiar with downtown Toronto, the Uptown
As I am.
Theatre, an old historic theater, is it
A
pretty
dump.
famous? Do people know it?
Very well-known theater. It's in the
Old
area
dump.
of Bloor and Yonge.
That's what I
on a
just
street
said.
called Balmuto. And there was some, I understand there was some type of renovations
Is that a spick
underway.
I beg your pardon?
Is that a spick talking?
No.
It's a tragic event has
I don't have any
it's a
spics
fraud.
here. That's Jim Muscat from the Toronto Police Department. We don't have any spics allowed here. Are you crazy?
It's a frog.
Only an occasional turista once in a while. No spics allowed here. Oh, now let's get to the important stuff. It's almost noon already, although we do want to find out a lot more about the White Baron. WQAM.
I hope she's Fiedler.
WQAM.
You miserable bitch.
Now we got the imitators, huh?
Yeah.
Very sad. Very weak. WQAM. Probably the
Neil.
Bell fans. Yes, sir.
What's the root of your hatred of Mo Howard David?
Oh, get out of here. We only got 2 hours and 9 minutes left. 5670560. Boy, do we have some bizarre folks today or what, huh? Talk about counting your chickens before they lay one. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. As the hits just keep on coming. How come line 1 stopped ringing now? Let me just see. Is it working? Oh, thank goodness it's working. I get really panicky because I don't want us to take gigantic steps backward like we usually do, technically at QAM. WQAM.
Hey, Pudge, swallow my fudge, you.
They're not too happy with a Pudge Master. They're thinking about sending Pudge packing. They're real unhappy. $10 million a year wouldn't be enough the next 2 years to keep him in burritos. Let me say it again. What kind of an asshole with a big fat ass like that needs more than $10 million a year? When does it stop, huh? When does it stop, eh? WQAM. Good talking to you. That was the coach. That was Wanstead. How come he hasn't been canned yet? Wouldn't you think after yesterday's game they'd have fired him right on the spot? WQAM.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I'm from Eglin. I talked to you last week. I took my kids out of school to watch a bomb drop. Well, I was pretty pissed off, so I asked my kid to ask them why did they spend a day and a half out of school watching a bomb drop. The teacher says because that's what keeps our country safe.
There you go. Okay, thanks for the update. Don't call me again with that crap, though. He just called us last week with part one, and now he's gone. You see what I'm saying? We always get these people, they start, you listen to what they have to say, you give them a forum to vent, and then right away they come, bada beep, bada boom, and it's like they have their own little feature, like they have their own segment.
Hey, there
like,
you go.
like Beano, you know? WQAM.
Hey, I'm calling about the poll that you had last week about the ugliest people in the whole world, each city. I think you ought to do, I don't know if you did the poll already, but the best looking cities.
Yeah.
Because I went to Prague. I know it's not your bag, but it's like a bunch of...
What do you mean it's not my bag?
Hot, attractive women.
Well, how about hot, attractive guys in Prague? There certainly are.
Yeah.
Even though that's not your bag.
I think we could just, you should have a poll on that because it really is like a supermodel convention over there.
In other words, they could all work for Abercrombie and Bitch?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, pal, thanks.
Right.
We'll do it tomorrow. We've done it before. We'll do it again tomorrow just to make him happy. See, the problem when you do those things is that, unfortunately, and not just our audience, but most Americans haven't been nowheres. Only 25% of the American population's got passports, so that means 75% of the people have never left the country other than maybe to go to Mexico or Canada, which we've got a lot of beautiful people here in Canada. In Mexico, I bet you they got 2 or 3 beautiful people.
Where?
Well, somewhere, buried in the mountains somewhere.
I don't believe you.
You are such a bigoted prick, man. Prick rhymes with spick. And that's the reason you want to send Pudge back, because he's a Rican. If we'd have checked this morning and found out he was Cuban, if Boog would have come in here and said, oh, he's Cuban, you'd say, oh, my God, let's open up the wallets, all you cheap bastards in the organization. Let's pay him $20 million a year just to keep him in town.
I would have been saying that, right.
You would have.
Sure.
But because he's a Rican, right away you want to hop on his fat ass.
No. He's a baseball player, so I don't care. He shouldn't be getting paid, period.
Speaking of hopping on somebody's ass, 2 priests suspended over sex abuse claims. The Archdiocese of Miami suspended 2 priests yesterday following allegations of sexual misconduct in 2 separate lawsuits. One of those priests, whose name just keeps popping up over and over again, the Reverend Alvaro Guichard, pastor of St. Francis. Sounds like a hockey player for the Canadians. Old time. Pastor of St. Francis de Sales Church in Miami Beach has been reinstated in August after a 15-month suspension stemming from similar but unrelated accusations. Guichard and the Reverend Hector Gonzalez Abreu, pastor of St. Vincent de Paul Church in northwest Miami-Dade County, have denied the allegations. The civil suits are going forward as the Archdiocese investigates the claims. The 2 priests were removed yesterday based on the recommendation of the 5-member Archdiocese Review Board, which studied the cases and decided the allegations were credible, according to diocese spokeswoman Mary Ross Augusta. This means they could be true, she said, or not, as the case may be. Wow. She said the decision was related to accusations that had been previously reported in the media, although she wouldn't comment on them specifically. And it goes on and on and on and on. And, of course, Guichard, you heard that clip on Channel 7 this morning. They're picking on him, and he's getting sick and tired of it and yada, all this other crap.
Sick and tired.
Yeah, he's sick and tired of it. 11:50, is he Rican?
No, I think he's Cuban.
No.
Yeah.
A Cuban alleged child molester? 4 minutes till noon at 5:60 WQM. We got the Mad Dog at 2. The Humper's doing a show at Shula's today. Put on a couple extra pounds over there for the holidays.
That was funny.
The unctuous Ricky Williams show at the Clevelander 7 o'clock tonight. Boy, he's got a lot of explaining to do. And what kind of a league is it? It's like a sissy league now. They actually have a rule in the NFL that they had to pass a rule because he's got the Ricky and this other guy that, what the hell team does he play for? It's got the dreadlocks, the Colts, I think.
Yeah,
so
James.
Yeah, Edgy has got the dreadlocks now. So now they had to pass a rule in the official rule book that it's legal to tackle somebody by their dreadlocks. So now the butch NFL, they're tackling by their hair. They're pulling their hair like little girls. Ain't that cute? Bunch of pansies. The big 8 to 10 tonight, Eddie K at 10 and Joe and Mark overnight. And then, of course, the return tomorrow, I wish I could say triumphant, but the dismal return of the Momeister and Geldy, who wishes he could get off that show real soon. At 5 tomorrow morning. You know, one of the best-kept dining secrets anywhere in town is right in Coral Springs. It's fabulous. It's the Gold Coast Seafood Grill, and they just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. They got 3.5 big, juicy stars from the Sun Sentinel Showtime Dining Review. Why did they get 3 stars? Because their food is absolutely sensational. They got all kinds of really neat specialties like mango plum salmon, almond-crusted mahi-mahi, orange honey-glazed sea bass, and crab and shrimp stuffed trout. There's an incredible bar atmosphere at the Gold Coast Seafood Grill, including an extensive wine and martini list, big, gigantic martinis during happy hour, only $5.50, 4 to 7 p.m. every day, 7 days a week. The Gold Coast Seafood Grill, you'll find it in Coral Springs at 2752 North University Drive inside the beautiful Walk Shopping Center. Call 954-255-FISH for reservations and more information. You can dine inside or outside. Large parties, private functions are welcome too. Experience the best-kept secret in lunch and dinner dining. It's the Gold Coast Seafood Grill in Coral Springs at 2752 North University Drive inside that most prestigious, beautiful Walk Shopping Center. The Gold Coast Seafood Grill, where you can always depend on getting great seafood at great prices, too.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
They play like men and they look like women.
Think you've seen all there is to see in a reality dating show? Think again. There's a new reality in reality television. It's Average Joe Millionaire, a show that puts a twist on an old twist with a brand new twist. Average Joe Millionaire. One buxom beauty must choose the man of her dreams among 25 hunky guys she thinks are worth over $50 million. But guess what? They're not hunky and they're not rich. Or are they? What's the dirty little secret behind Average Joe Millionaire? Are these ordinary guys actually extraordinary? Are they really worth the millions we said they weren't after we said they were? Can a beautiful woman fall for an average-looking rich man who's actually poor and handsome? Or will she love them for their good looks and not for the money she thinks they may have, but actually might not? It will all become crystal clear on the premiere episode of Average Joe Millionaire. Or will it? Find out when reality television gets a real dose of real reality. Really. And it's all on Average Joe Millionaire, coming soon to Fox TV.
1203.
Is it?
At 560, is it?
No.
WQAM. 386 votes on a Hillary poll. What is it about Hilary Clinton you dislike the most? 116 say, I like her, she's no G.W. Bush. What percent is that?
About 30, man.
I hate her, she's a bitch, 94, 24.3%. I love Hillary, 81, almost 21%. She's too smug, 45. She's an ice princess, 34. She's a lightweight, 16. So let's see, the positive ones I love, 50.9%, which means 49.1%. Got it?
Got it.
Positive ones, 197 to 189. Boy, only just a handful of votes separating. It's a tight race, baby. She come out on top even with her cankles. Maybe there's like a sympathy vote, huh? Well, no, I never knew she had cankles. Who said this wasn't an educational show? First of all, we learned that guy at Channel 7, whatever the hell his name was. What was his name?
Charlie Baxter.
Charlie Tuna. He's retiring at 65. He was all of those different characters all you people grew up with on Sunday mornings. And Hillary's got cankles.
Oy!
What the more? And it's only noon. 2 hours. You already had like a wealth of information on this goddamn show. And the price is right. Now here's the new poll. It's not really a poll, it's just a survey, which I like. And the reason I was inspired to do it today is because of that result in the weekend poll. About only 7.5% disagree with me most on religion. That's great. So how often do you attend religious services? That's the poll question, numero dos. Only on major holidays, fairly often, very often, religiously, rarely, or never.
Oh!
How often do you attend religious services? Only on major holidays, fairly often, very often, religiously, rarely, or never. Did I leave anything out?
That pretty much covers it.
Let's see. The White Baron was played by a commercial actor with the last name of DeVries during the mid-'70s. He lived in Kendall, says Mark. Thank you, Mark. The White Baron on WCIX. I have no idea. I was here, I guess. The mid-'70s. I was here in 76. Do you remember the White Baron?
No.
I remember, what's his name? The big fat guy.
Big
Not
Wilson?
just Big Wilson. No, the other big fat guy. Dave Dixon.
Okay.
You don't remember Dave Dixon?
I do.
He was great.
Sure.
On the old channel 88 or whatever was there on the UHF. Boy, remember those days when we used to have the antennas? Oh, God, talk about old.
Coat hangers, baby.
And when they first came out with the UHF channels, the higher frequency, higher than, 13?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah. Then all of a sudden we had to have another band. So we had VHF and UHF, kind of like when FM came into prominence. And here came a whole bunch of other channels. In order to pick up UHF, you had to get those little circular antennas for the little loop antennas for the back of your TV.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you said, if you couldn't go do the old Fruit Loop, you'd put a coat hanger on there. You'd stick it.
1,000,001 uses for your coat hanger.
Right. That's what Joan Crawford said, but don't send them to her house. Those were the days. And what channel was that? Was that channel
23?
Get out of here.
I used to watch cartoons on before it was like half and half, English and Spanish.
Dave Dixon was on channel 23?
Well, I don't know where Dave Dixon was. I can't remember that.
No, that's 45.
Okay, that's the
religious. Before they sold it to the religious nuts, I think it was channel 45. I do believe. I could be wrong. Big Wilson was on 6, and Dave Dixon was on UHF. And he used to show all those really horrendous, grotesque, nasty. And then he went to Detroit. It was on a radio, and I think had also a similar thing on Channel 50 in Detroit on UHF, and then he died. And you want to know why he died? Oh, don't start with that again with the fat stuff. This audience hates that because most of them are fat. They hate that. He was real fat, and he died, and he wasn't all that old either. Okay, let's see. How often do you go to religious services? Let me think about this one. Oh, and speaking of good old-time religion, here's a great story you're going to love. Religion and football. Muslim football team names spark protest. Irvine, California. I wonder if that's where the Irvine family came from, the harness racing family. They're from Ohio. Irvine, California. It was planned as a way to bring young athletes together for a weekend of fun, but when participants in the Muslim football tournament started naming their teams Intifada, Soldiers of Allah, and Mujahideen, Jewish leaders took offense. They said, "Oi!" Intifada, uprising in Arabic, is a term used by Palestinians for their revolts against Israeli occupation from 1987 to 93 and over the past 3 years. The recent Intifada has seen numerous suicide bombings by Palestinian militants. Mujahideen means holy warrior, like Osama Yamama. Rabbi Bernie King, who lives in Irvine, said the team's names undermine those who work to have closer relations with Muslims. Something like this tends to support those in the community who have suspicions about the real intent of Islam, King said. What exactly are they honoring here, asked Rabbi Abraham Cooper, Associate Dean of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, the LA-based Jewish human rights organization. The continued targeting of innocent women and children by homicide bombers deserves to be, you notice how he calls them homicide bombers?
Yeah,
deserves to be condemned across the board. It's deeply, deeply disturbing, he said. One of the January 4th tournament organizers said the names were meant to show support for Muslims in the Middle East, but also represent football bravado. They said, it's the bomb. A lot of the kids on our team are from Palestinian origin, said Tarak Shaki, Intifada's 29-year-old captain and quarterback. We are in solidarity with people in the uprising. It's about human rights and basic freedoms. Fellow tournament organizer Sabi Khan, no kin to Aga Khan or Ali Khan, said he'd worried about the names and asked, or maybe Genghis Khan, and asked the teams to change them. It bothers me a little bit, said Khan 18, but he added they were just trying to be cool. Well, what's wrong with that? Kind of like Mo trying to be cool as a frog's fart. Right?
Right.
They don't come no cooler than Mo.
If they can't use those names, we better outlaw all
In fact, he's so cool, he's like right on the verge of dead. You know, like there's that fine line between cold as death, and he's right on that edge. Look at that. How often do you attend religious services? We've already got it. Just popped up there, 27 votes, and 20 say never.
Oh, God.
Very often, religiously 3. Rarely 2. Only on major holidays 1, and fairly often 1. The religious folks have just, they've given up on us, on the heathens on this show. They don't want nothing to do with us.
Good.
In fact, they're probably listening in the closet. Oh, there's the old cheesehead, Tommy Thompson.
First off, Wolf, thank you for putting me on your programs.
Nah, Wolf, you should only croak, man, for putting him on your show. The old cheesehead. He drank from water from a crick. How could see, everybody in America's got this CA deal. It's called convenient Alzheimer's. And the media just lets these people off the hook, and we're supposed to forget about all that crap. Back during the anthrax stuff. And by the way, we got any suspects in the anthrax investigation?
No.
Just that person of interest whose life they destroyed, Stephen Hatfield. Any other suspects?
No.
Anybody arrested for that yet?
No.
No. And it just goes on and on. And they do it. You want to know why they do it? Because they can get away with it. Because they can. Just like, why does the dog lick his balls? Because he can. Same thing. They do it because the media gives them a free pass, and they can do whatever the hell they want and act as stupid as they possibly can. And Tom Ridge and this guy, between the two of them, they got a personality like a shoehorn. WQAM.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Happy Monday.
Oh, here's your resident researcher. Dave Dixon was on Channel 51.
51 is absolutely correct, sir.
Which, if you recall, for a while they had that on-TV service.
What do you mean? If I recall, I was on it. I had
you
a
were
show.
On it? You were on TV?
I was on. I was on drugs. I was on, and like from 1 when the movie ended at night.
That's
listen
right.
to me.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I was on that TV channel, and we used to take calls, and we had to, it was a whole bizarre thing. But, I was on from like 2 till 5 in the morning.
Yeah, 51 Studios was up on Federal up in Fort Lauderdale, and 23 before it went Spanish, their big claim to fame was they were the local purveyor of Bozo's Big Top.
I'll be damned.
Which used to, I think their studios were up on Ivesbury Road somewhere, not far from where you guys are now. Right by the antenna farm. Yes, this is a rich and varied tradition in local television we have down here.
Oh, it sure is.
Charlie Folds is probably the last coherent person left at Channel 7. Now that Lunder's deceased, God rest his soul, and this guy's gone, what do we got left?
He ain't no spilkies in the ray, I'll tell you that. Have a great day, Pally.
Hey, you too, sir.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 46 people have checked in here and said 31 of them never attend religious services, and I bless them. I commend them heartily for coming to their senses. Rarely 6, very often religiously 4, only on major holidays 3, and then fairly often 2. Is there any other religion where they have like major holidays where you show up, or is it just the Jews?
What are you talking about? Easter,
just what I said.
Christmas services, Easter services for the Christians and
So
Catholics.
the Goyim do the same thing?
Easter is practically mandatory.
I see. Just like Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah is practically mandatory for the Jews unless they want to. See, but the Jews, they're not going to burn in hell because there isn't any.
And then if you're a Catholic, you have all these accessory events that you're almost required to go to, like babies' baptisms. Like if you don't go to a nephew's baptism, you're just the devil.
In fact, the only hell for Jews is when Jew Lieberman comes on here and starts spouting that right-wing crap.
That's hell.
That goody two-shoes crap, that is hell.
Oh, I think.
It's almost as hellish as finding Todd Rex sitting at your dinner table for, with a napkin under his chin to catch the blood that's pouring down his head because somebody slit his throat.
Oh!
Oh, God. What a happy new year that would be. Yeah. Oh! Imagine this on your next mortgage, folks. Imagine 0 closing costs, 0 application fee, 0 credit bureau fee, 0 discounted points. You know that guy that works for Russell Oasis on those car spots? 0. He always, like it's SERO, 0. Boy, that guy bugs me. It's the last mortgage you'll ever need, the revolutionary only one mortgage from Financial Group. Now with an interest rate of just 1.95%, that means if you have a $200,000 loan, your payments are a mighty low $738 a month. What's not to like? And once you refinance or get a new home mortgage from Financial Group, you'll never, ever, never pay closing costs again. So call them today at 1-800-940-LEND. Grab yourself real financing power. With a low-rate mortgage, you can move to your next property without further cost or expense. It's the only one mortgage from Financial Group. For details, all you have to do is make that one easy call, 1-800-940-LEND. It's a whole new way to buy. You pay 0 underwriting fee, 0 doc fees, 0 prepayment penalty, and 0 closing costs even when you move to another property. So get yourself financing at just 1.95%. Call 1-800-940-LEND and never, ever, let me say it again, never pay closing costs again. Call them today, 1-800-940-LEND. Tell them that Todd Dreck told you to call. They'll be chuckling like crazy. They're an equal housing lender. Restrictions apply. Rates subject to change monthly. 5.19 APR.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Using the power of money and fast deals to take the votes away from those Christ-killing Jews, it's the Hate Squad! Yes, the Hate Squad is coming to your house this Christmas. Jew-hating Republican action figures that teach you how to participate in good Christian Republican partisan rhetoric. Aimed at those Christ-killing Jews, even if it was the Romans. But they weren't Jewish. Our convoys with Christian soldiers like Rush Limbaugh.
Fiddle up, fiddle up, fiddle up, fiddle up, fiddle up.
Papa Bush.
1,000 points alive.
With Junior in tow. And main-packet Dick Cheney.
Latex power pills sold separately.
Each action figure comes with its own 12-page propaganda booklet explaining how the Jews were bred from rags. Send your proof of purchase for a free swastika armband and an additional LNT self-hating Uncle Tom. But hurry, these action figure sets are available for a short time only at Should Stop and R Us.
12:18. So not only was Hillary on Eat the Press yesterday, and you know, of course, what it means when you have an important, big effort on Meet the Press.
What?
Nothing. You know who else was on?
Wesley Clark.
Newty Gingrich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they dragged his ass out again. I guess we're, again, convenient Alzheimer's supposed to forget what a liar and hypocrite and phony baloney and philanderer he was. But anyway, they brought him out, and he ripped Bush pretty good on Iraq. But at any rate, they were asking about 2008 election. And they asked him who he thought the Republican candidate might be in 2008. And you know what he said?
I give up.
Jeb Bush. Back to the moon!
How do you like that?
Sure.
Jeb Bush.
Makes more sense than this one.
That's what they got in the wings. That's what they had in mind. 2 terms for Daddy, which he blew it on the first one. 2 terms for W, and 2 terms for Jeb. Just like the Kennedys all over again, but that didn't work out too good. Jeb Bush for president. Who the hell are they kidding, huh? 81 votes. How often? Oh, and I hate to disagree with you on, what's her name? On the comatose, whatever her name is.
Terry Schiavo?
Schiavo.
Yeah, what about her?
Poll in the Herald over the weekend, or maybe it was the Sun Sentinel, showing that about 80% of the people in Florida disagree with the governor, with Governor Bush on that issue. And if she wants to die, leave her alone already. You have a right to die.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, if
she wants to die?
Huh? She wants to die.
How do you know that?
She said it. She says, how, no, in other words, they disagree with him interceding there. In other words,
I disagree with him interceding.
Well, good. How often you attend religious services? 81 people say whatever they do. Like I said, 93 say. 58 never. 62.3%.
Oh!
There's hope for our crowd. We're all going to burn in hell together. I'll be doing a show there, by the way.
Hell?
Yeah. Rarely 24. Well, I did a show in hell for like almost 28 years, and then I got out of there most of the time. Rarely 24, 25.8%. You add those together, mister, and you got 88.1% of this audience who rarely or never attend any of that crap, any of that hocus pocus. Let's get things into focus. Let me say it again. The people that wrote all of that crap, they used to stone people to death. They used to be like everything that happened when there was a goddamn bolt of lightning, a clap of thunder, man. You name it. Superstitious, stupid, ignorant people. Well, the Bible says, and it's the biggest freaking tax-free business in the world today. How the Pope gets a free pass on this crap with all these millions of people dying from AIDS in Africa. Oh, don't use condoms, whatever you do. And of course, those people are, that's the new flock. You do understand that for the Catholic Church?
Of course.
Because when people, the more desperate they become, it's just like the Schwarzers in America.
Sure.
They're all Southern Baptists or whatever they are, because the church is like the only hope that's held out to them, instead of like giving them anything tangible to hold on to. So you go to the church and listen to your phony baloney pastor who went on the internet like you do and get all of a sudden, poof, you're a minister. If there is a black male in America over the age of 25 who hasn't been or isn't now either an athlete or a minister of some sort, I sure like to know who the hell he is. You ever met one?
Troy. Oh, you said athlete.
Troy Stratford, ex-jock.
All right, I'll get back to you.
Right, yeah, you'll get back to me. Put your thinking cap on, mister, okay? Besides Denzel Washington.
Jamaicans don't count?
Up to 3. How often you attend religious services? 93. Look at that. And we got 88.1% say either rarely or never. I love it.
All right.
And you want to know why I love it? Because here's an important story for you. Religious belief becomes the biggest predictor of vote. This was in over the weekend in the Houston Chronicle. Want to know how Americans will vote next election day? Watch what they do the weekend before. If they attend religious services regularly, they'll probably vote Republican by a 2-to-1 margin. If they never go, they'll likely vote Democratic by a 2-to-1 margin. How do you like that?
All right.
Ain't that interesting?
I knew that.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I didn't know the breakdown.
You didn't know the numbers.
Like that, no.
You didn't know the breakdown.
No.
This relatively new fault line in American life is a major reason the country is politically polarized, and the division over religion and politics is likely to continue or even grow in 2004, because the good book said, a new poll by the nonpartisan Pew Research Center for the People in the Press this fall confirmed that the gap remains. Voters who frequently attend religious services tilt 63 to 37% to Bush, and those who never attend lean 62 to 38% toward Democrats. We now have the widest gap we've ever had between Republicans and Democrats, said Andy Kohut, director of the Pew survey. Was he sitting in his pew when he said that?
His own pew.
It's the most powerful predictor of party ID and partisan voting intentions, said Thomas Mann, no kin to Amy, a political scholar at the Brookings Institute, a center-left Washington research center. And in a society that values religion as much as this one, unfortunately, when there are high levels of religious belief and commitment and practice, that's significant. And you'll notice that Canada, the neighbor to the north of you, the religious fanaticism is way, I mean, the whole thing about religion is like on a whole different level.
Yeah.
The United States is the most, of all the westernized countries, and I use that term loosely in the world, the U.S. is by far and away the most religious. When you get to Europe, I mean, forget about it. You get to the point, what is the number in Italy? It's like 7%? I think it's 7%.
Was it? I thought it was lower than that.
Or maybe 3% who go to like church regularly, and the rest of them, they give the old bafangula. They're onto it, man. They know it. They're in the middle of it. President Bush is a church-going Christian who often mixes theology with public policies ranging from the war on terrorism to abandon a specific type of late-term abortion. By contrast, most leading Democratic candidates for president keep their campaigns secular, seldom mentioning God, religion, or attending church, except for the occasional well-publicized visit to an African-American church to try to pander to those Schwarzers. The most notable exception among top-tier candidates is Senator Jew Lieberman of Connecticut, a Jew who frequently invokes God, casts policy issues in moral terms, and refuses to campaign on the Sabbath. The Reverend Al Sharpton is religious too, of course, but polls showed he's favored by fewer than 1% of likely Democratic voters in the first primary state, New Hampshire. Howard Dean said recently that he prayed privately, but quit being an Episcopalian in dispute with his parish over a bike path, recently listed God with guns and gays among issues that shouldn't influence voting, and doesn't regularly attend church, nor do most of his chief rivals. How do you like that? We like Howard Dean even more now than we did before.
Yeah, baby.
Right?
Right.
You go, boy.
Oh!
And I sure like them Jimmy Dean, them Timmy Dean. I think it's Kin, ain't he? Timmy
Right.
Dean? That Jew food he makes.
His wife's Jewish.
He recently listed God with guns and gays among issues that shouldn't influence voting and doesn't regularly attend church, nor do most of his chief rivals. Thank the Lord. So, isn't that exactly what I've been saying for a long time now?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's become, America. You've got the religious nuts on the one hand who just won't go away like in the Dakotas somewhere or Idaho with Mark Furman and live happily ever after and do their own stupid thing. But you got them against all the rest of the people with a brain. People who want to think for themselves and have been able to be strong enough mentally and emotionally to emancipate their mind from all the brainwashing of this bullcrap, the Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and the God bullcrap.
Ew, God.
Right. What a pile of turd. The entire world is just, throughout the history of man, that's all we've had. Slaughter and butchery and hate, all because of my religion's better than yours, man. That's all it's all about.
Yeah, but look at all the good things they did.
Yeah? You mean like the Crusades or the Inquisition or what's happening in the Middle East today or Northern Ireland? Which one?
All of the
India
above.
and Pakistan, right?
All of these things.
Yeah. Jim and Tammy Faye and all these other fakers on TV there, the televangelists ripping off these desperate old sick people.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I see. What's not to like? Tax-free, by the way. 86% right now out of 129. None, never, ever. Never go to church, 78, 61.2%. Rarely, 32, 24.8. That adds up to 86% if my math be correct. Only on major holidays, 9. Very often, religiously, 5. That's 3.8%, and fairly often 4. So we got 6.9% who either fairly often or religiously go to like all this crap, and the rest of our audience is, forget about it. Which I'm proud of that. Because you have to like search under the rocks to find people who admit that they aren't part of this religious, the God squad, this insanity. Big news, Hallett Pontiac GMC is now Auto City Pontiac GMC of Pinecrest. Expect the same great deals and customer satisfaction you're accustomed to. Right now at Auto City of Pinecrest, it's an end-of-the-year clearance sale on all remaining 2003s in stock. Take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months or save yourself $9,000 with rebates and incentives. Attention lease customers, ask Auto City of Pinecrest about their lease pull-ahead early termination program. When in doubt, pull it out. There's even more great deals at the new Auto City Pontiac GMC of Pinecrest. For a limited time, just sign and drive home your new GMC Sierra with absolutely no money down.
Absolutely.
It's the new Auto City Pontiac GMC of Pinecrest, and you'll find them at 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's US 1 across from the Falls. Open every day, 7 days a week. If you want more info on those hot deals, call the Neil Deal Hotline, toll-free, 1-888-534-4211. That's 1-888-534-4211. Don't forget, all offers subject to credit approval. See the folks at Auto City Pontiac. I'm going to start calling it that. Auto City of Pinecrest used to be Hallett for details. The brand new Auto City Pontiac GMC of Pinecrest. Low prices without the high pressure.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. I couldn't sleep, so I lay there in bed, with my 9mm close to my head. I heard a noise and I jumped up to see what in the hell all the racket could be. I looked around the corners, quite hard to believe. I saw Santa, but he did not see me. I stood there silently, I didn't make a sound. He pulled toys from his bag and he spread them all around. He filled my stockings with cartridges and then he sat down. But what I saw next is most sure to astound. He walked to the tree and he tore off a branch. He reached in his pocket and he pulled out a match. Scraped off some needles, stuck them in his pipe. Then he struck the match and he gave it a light. His eyes grew small, his cheeks started to glow. He walked to the tree and he filled another bowl. And it started to ho-ho, but it came out tea. It was the night that Santa Claus caught a buzz by smoking my Christmas tree. All right. I said, congratulations, Santa Claus. Did not know that you got high. He said, how do you think I stand the cold, and why do reindeer fly? Where would I fit all the cookies and milk if I wasn't high? And that was the night that Santa Claus got one buzz by smoking my Christmas tree.
Hiya, Pally! Oh!
12:34 at 560 WQM. So the Sun Sentinel is taking a poll. Who or what is to blame or was to blame for Sunday's Dolphin loss to the Patriots?
Oh,
was to blame?
Here I am hanging on my seat.
What?
About the poll.
You better hang on, mister.
Yeah, loosely.
20.6% said Jay Fiedler.
Oi!
2.7% Randy McMichael. 31.1% the offensive line. 10.4% Norv Turner. 35.2% the loser, Dave Wanstad.
All right.
Coach, what did I say before, huh?
Oh.
I'd have fired his ass right after that game. Hey, Dave, go back to Chicago with or without a banjo on your knee. Go get lost.
I have an offensive line.
Don't say it.
Okay.
Here's a fax that says, although we've not formally met, this printing on here looks too familiar, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? But, what's in a font?
Nah. Although we haven't formally met, I've called your show twice. Happen to be a 31-year-old African-American asthmatic atheist who strongly believes walking to my car is the purest form of exercise. So now you know of one. Feel better now?
Yeah.
I do feel a little better. Signed KM. I won't read the last name. KM.
Kmart.
Jewish couple decried discharge from the Army. See, there's 8 million of these stories why religion, we have to eliminate it, that's all. Have to just teach people there are more things to be concerned about, like life and sex and the fresh air, things that are tangible and real, as opposed to Bubba Micey's fairy tales, old wives' tales, silly crap. The good book says this. I mean, let me ask you this: do you ever read a book, ever of any kind, and you don't look at who the author is?
No.
Nobody ever reads a book, whether it's nonfiction or fiction, whatever, without at least looking at who the author is, and maybe on the back of the jacket,
right,
reading a little bit about the author, who she is, he is, it is, whatever.
To consider the source, is that where you're going?
That's exactly what I'm saying. But to take this book and not realize that the people who wrote it were just, and of course all of the other Bibles along with it. This is just a couple. The Old Testament, the New Testament, the Koran. There were 80 zillion Bibles, 80 zillion religions. They all had a virgin birth. They all had a crucifixion. They all had the same fairy tales. Only the Christians did a better sales job, that's all.
That's right.
Because they made people an offer they couldn't refuse.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't believe me? Oh, bada bing. There you go.
Sword point. Preaching at sword point.
Right. In fact, I think the early founders of Christianity took a line from Santino.
Bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
Right. If they don't want to believe your crap. Or if they don't want to hand over their 10% or 15%.
Bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
If they don't want to be tithing, you make sure they're writhing.
Mm-hmm.
On the flow. 5-6. I don't see much going on this phone now. I'm really anxious to intersperse a few calls here. But they just don't want to play the game today. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Because every time line 6 is ringing, you know what it's going to be. WQAM.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Run in the hell away.
See what I mean? Every time. What is it about line 6? It's a magnet, that line.
Magic line. I think that's the first one in the rollover.
Oh, they're rolling over? He ought to roll over. WQAM. Pudge pack in line. WQAM.
Hello.
What is it?
Neil?
Yes, sir.
How you doing today, buddy?
Okay, Pally, how you doing?
Great. Couple of things. First of all, in regard to Hillary. You know,
yes.
I don't really love her. I don't really hate her. I don't get it. I don't get it. What did Hillary ever do that she is in line to even be under consideration for the presidency?
I'll give you two answers. She introduced that health care bill that went over like a pregnant pole vaulter in July, and she was married to the president. Other than that, I don't know. Well, of course, now she's a senator, but other than that, I don't know what.
Well, that's the thing, okay? Having lived in South Florida most of my life, I've run into more than my fair share of New Yorkers, unfortunately. And even though they're pains in the ass, they're I would say at least generally as bright as most Americans, which is to say as bright as a dim bulb. But at any rate, how did they get sucked in to elect her a senator? I mean, all she ever did was sleep with Bill Clinton, and that certainly was not an exclusive club.
Are you forgetting that Arnold was just elected governor of California in a
True,
landslide?
no question about it. So the bar is in fact set very, very low. No doubt about it.
The celebrity status, man. She was a first lady.
I just don't get it. Well, so then I guess we have all sorts of these people from reality shows to look forward to them getting into politics as well, because, you know, now they're celebrities as well.
Absolutely.
So, well, although I guess it could be worse. We could be talking instead about more of the Jerry Falwell, Pat Robertson type people running for office, which brings me to my next point. As far as organized religion is concerned, you know, it's great for people that have faith, that need faith, and all the rest of that stuff. But you know what? Keep it to yourself. I don't care who you pray to. Don't try and shove it down my throat or up my, can I have a rectum?
Rectum? I hope you already have one.
I do.
Yeah, it's a crutch, and if you need a crutch, fine, if it helps you. But like you said, just keep it to yourself and stop trying to convert everybody else and using it to spread hate and stupidity.
I don't care any more who you pray to than I do who cuts your grass. That's your business. That's your business. It's not my business, and what I do in the confines of my own home is none of your damn business either.
Amen.
So keep it to yourself, and with all that said, I will say, sei gesund.
And back to you.
Take care.
Happy Chinooka. See ya. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. If you want to give your home a new style this holiday season by replacing that tired old carpeting, let me tell you about Laminates R Us. They're the easy, low-maintenance alternative to expensive natural wood flooring. Laminates R Us makes sense. It's the best place to find laminated wood flooring from the top names in the world. Peridor, Pergo, Wilsonart, Uniflor, Quickstep, and all of Laminates R Us flooring is installed by guys who know their stuff, Pergo certified installers. Another good reason why you should call Laminates R Us, their prices are so unbelievably low, it'll probably floor you. Right now, get their holiday special for just $1,495, and just $1,495 gets you up to 295 square feet of beautiful laminate wood flooring. Unreal. And Laminates R Us will match any legitimate written offer, too. So if you'd like to get yourself with no obligation a free in-home estimate, call Laminates R Us toll-free 1-877-777-3336, and they make it so easy, how can you refuse? Free carpet disposal, free furniture moving, a 25-year warranty. So this holiday season, give your home a new style with beautiful laminate wood flooring. Call Laminates R Us today, toll-free, and please tell them that old Neil told you to call 1-877-777-3336.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Gingrich does the hanky-panky. Newt Gingrich has a skanky-wanky. Newt Gingrich does the hanky-panky. Newt Gingrich does the hanky-panky. We thought he only spanked his monkey. They tease Bill Clinton about it all the time. They call him womanizing low-life slime. But Newtie's chasing girlies all around the desk. That's why his shirt's untucked, his hair is a mess.
the desk. Let's go.
Mr. Speaker, the committee would like to know, are those high heel shoes sticking out from under your desk? I see. Okay, then, the committee sees no impropriety here, and there'll be no further investigation.
I saw him working on his pickup line. Did you come here often, baby? What's your sign? A pretty young Republican and all alone. Hey, pretty baby, can I give you the bone? Who would have thought? I never would have thought that.
Come here, baby, and meet that junior. See, rub your house.
Newt Gingrich does the hanky-panky. Newt Gingrich does the hanky-panky. Newt Gingrich has a skanky-wanky. Newt Gingrich does the hanky-panky. We thought he only spanked his monkey.
1247 at 560 WQM. 198 people have chimed in on the survey. How often you attend religious services? Never 115, rarely 46. That's 81.2%. Only on major holidays, 17. Very often, religiously, 13, 6.5%. And fairly often, 7, 3.5%. So 10% are suckered in. Go. Suckers. And do their thing. Guess who was just on CNN, or is probably right now?
I give up.
They're doing the building collapsing in downtown Toronto again, the theater. Ralph Reed. Remember Ralph Reed?
No.
Yeah, you do, from the Christian Coalition.
Oh, that guy.
That little beady-eyed looking guy?
Uh-huh.
Who's like one step away. I think he's Gary Bauer's twin sister. Ralph Reed is now the regional campaign director for in the Southeast, for the campaign coordinator for Bush Cheney. What does that tell you? Richard Viguerie and Ralph Reed and Gary Bauer and all these Farbissina ultra-fanatic goyim. That's what it's all about. And, of course, you throw Jew Lieberman in the mix just so the Jews don't get left out.
He's in the wrong party.
The Jews and the religionists are taking over the whole damn country.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it boils down to.
Right.
So whatever progress we made in the last 20 or 30 or 40 years, in fact, you go back beyond that because they want to undo all of the FDR. In fact, that's probably one of the reasons they want to take FDR off the dime and put Reagan on there is because they want people to forget about Franklin Roosevelt, a whole new deal. They want to give us the raw deal. Pathetic. And the public is, who's FDR? Like that. Jewish couple decried discharge from Army. Raphael and Margaret Chaikin were supposed to be 7 months into a 5-year Army commitment by now, studying to be much needed in interrogators in the war on terrorism. Instead, they're civilians looking for jobs. The two were discharged after disobeying orders by skipping class so they could attend services for Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish year. Our religion itself says if you're saving somebody's life, you have to cease the observance, Raphael Chaikin said. No one can convince us not going to class when you can make it up falls under that category. The Army calls the November 14 discharges a simple matter. They didn't meet the requirements of the course, said Tanya Litton, a spokeswoman at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, where the Chaikins were training. You have to meet the requirements of the course. We really just don't see any story here. She said the Army acted within its regulations on religious practices, which says it'll accommodate religious practices unless accommodation will have an adverse impact on unit readiness, individual readiness, unit cohesion, morale, discipline, safety, and or health. Jack Zimmerman, a Jewish Vietnam veteran who served 14 years of active duty in the Marines and 16 more in the Marine Reserves before retiring as a colonel, said he was shocked to hear about the Chaikins' plight.
Oh, my God.
He was shocked. You ready for that? I observed 30 Yom Kippurs. How many?
About 30, man.
As a Marine officer and was never asked not to, said Zimmerman, now an attorney in Houston. Even in Vietnam, I was commanding an artillery battery along the DMZ and was able to return to Da Nang for high holiday services. The Chaikin said their problems began October 4th, 2 days before the holiday, when Battalion Commander Dennis Perkins, I do like his pancake house, told them not to attend all-day services. They said they were told to go to class as scheduled, but could go to services after class. That meant nothing, Raphael said, because classes lasted so long, so the couple skipped class, attended the service at the Fort's Chapel. Raphael Chaikin, 27, knew there'd be consequences when they returned, and she was right. They gave us a counseling statement and read us our rights, accused us of being AWOL, which I guess was okay for the president, and
right.
Willful disobedience of a lawful order. Of course, he's a good member of the God Squad and good standing. The couple said they were essentially put under house arrest and were threatened with military charges and punishment. We couldn't go to the store, we couldn't do anything, said Margaret Chaikin, 26, who holds a master's degree from the Sorbonne and speaks fluent French and Hebrew. The legal problems disappeared when they filed a complaint with the Army's Equal Opportunity Department, the couple said. They were simply given a general discharge that mentions misconduct as a reason behind the return to civilian life. The couple, who married in August after enlisting together, staying with a relative in Houston and plan to seek work in the New York area. How do you like that? With a discharge like this, it's going to be very, very hard to get a job with a three-letter agency like the CIA or the FBI, Davy Sand. How do you like that?
I don't.
Couldn't go to Yom Kippur, man. If it was good enough for Sandy Koufax, it should be good enough for them. This is a good one. Cursing Kerry unleashes foul-mouthed attack on Bush. I love it. Now, you go, John. He's butching up a little bit. He's desperate because he's down landslide margin to the polls now. He's losing like 3-1 margin in New Hampshire in the polls to Dean.
Because of that face.
That Mount Rushmore face? Sure looks pretty presidential. Struggling 2004 Democratic wannabe John Kerry fired an X-rated attack at President Bush over Iraq and used the F-word, highly unusual language for a presidential contender, in a stunning new interview with Rolling Stone magazine. Senator Kerry used the undeleted expletive to express his frustration and anger over how the Iraq issue has hurt him because he voted for the war resolution while Democratic frontrunner Howard Dean has soared by opposing it. I voted for what I thought was best for the country. Did I expect Howard Dean to go off to the left and say I'm against everything? Sure. Did I expect George Bush to F it up as badly as he did? I don't think anybody did, Kerry told the youth-oriented magazine. Did he expect George Bush to F it up? You go, boy. Oh! Nice going.
Front-running phony.
Yeah. Brookings Institution presidential scholar Stephen Hess said he can't recall another candidate attacking a president with X-rated language in a public interview. It is so unnecessary, Hess said. In a way, it's kind of pandering by Kerry to a group he sees as hip. I think John Kerry's going to regret saying this. And you should regret saying that, Stephen Hess, because Tom Harkin from Iowa, when he ran last time for president, whatever the hell year that was, he said bullshit about the president. About Bush 1. Bullshit. Oh! Yeah. Kerry yesterday angrily cited his war record in Vietnam when asked by a New Hampshire student about charges that it's unpatriotic to attend the commander-in-chief, fuming, I left some blood on a battlefield that President Bush never left anywhere. Two polls this week show Dean leading by a landslide 3-1 over Kerry in New Hampshire. And Eminem, one of my least favorite people, wants the president dead. A new unreleased song by the vituperative Detroit rhymer titled We As Americans includes the lyrics, F money, I don't rap for dead presidents, I'd rather see the president dead. The track, a pro-gun rant, does not specifically mention President Bush, and Eminem's publicist avoided interpreting what the lyrics mean. But he said the reference to dead presidents was hip-hop code for cash. Right?
Sure.
Like when you meet your connection there on the street corner on Ives Dairy and 441.
Yeah, I've been
you give them 20 dead presidents, right?
Or maybe
about 30, man.
The bootleg track is available on several Eminem websites. Also appears in truncated form on MTV.com. Eminem's publicist Dennis Dennehy told the New York Post the song, which makes a case against gun control laws, was an unreleased first rap that may have been ripped off from the rap superstar. It's an unfinished song, said Dennehy. It was lost or stolen. There's been no determination made on where or how it'll be used or when. The tune was one of several tracks that have found their way into cyberspace recently. 7 songs, ostensibly part of an EP called Straight from the Lab, are circulating on fan sites, peer-to-peer networks, and hip-hop chat rooms. Oh, by the way, do you know 50 Cent murdered 2 people?
Well,
that's what he said.
They had it coming.
Every now and then he says, oh yeah, he killed 2 people.
They were
going to earlier this year found that a majority of American kids believe Eminem's lyrics are more credible than Bush's speeches. How do you like that? Do you hear that? A poll earlier this year found that a majority of American kids believe that Eminem's lyrics are more credible than Bush's speeches.
Well, that's good anyway.
Yeah. And I still can't stand him. It makes me sick. And Eminem too. Oh, here's one of my... See, I'm getting a lot of bedtime stuff in here because line 6 is ringing. I know it's going to be bad. WQAM.
Yes, I just wanted to know if Neil had seen 60 Minutes last night.
I talked about it, yeah.
Oh, you already did?
About Abercrombie and Fitch, and then the second story about Karbala and about the fact that they made the guy disappear, and no legal representation. Talked about it.
Oh, you did? Okay. Sorry about that. I tuned in a little late today. Okay.
Kind of scary, though, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. You think that these guys would be rounded up for war crimes. Americans want to know why we're being shot up every day. It's because the same status
They went out
quo.
and they did the right thing. They elected their own leaders. They did it the democratic way. And we said, oh, no, not so fast. Then we took the one guy and spirited him away. And they still won't tell anybody, including this 60 Minutes, what the charges are.
Well, it's just like here, Patriot Act, you know? We lose
Amen.
our freedoms.
Good luck to us, pal. And I
Yeah,
guarantee you
thanks.
one thing, he's not working for Abercrombie & Fitch. Have a great day. A senior, wait till you hear this. This is going to, I better do the break.
All right, man.
Let me give you a little tease.
Okay.
Glaxo, you know Glaxo Wellcome, one of the biggest drug companies in the world?
Yes.
Glaxo Wellcome says our drugs don't work on most patients.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They cost a lot of money,
Yeah.
arm and a leg, but guess what? Did they work on most people?
No.
No.
Well, those must be those Canadian drugs.
Oh, that's right. Those awful Canadian drugs. Look at that. I'm looking out the window. There are people swooning and falling over the place right here. Probably took too damn many drugs. Attention horse racing fans. Pompano Park Harness and Card Room is open for its 40th anniversary season right now as I speak. That's right. There's simulcasting going on right this moment. In fact, you know something?
No.
I bet you if I put on the racing channel.
Came on late to be third.
Oh! It's the final words of the call from my good friend Phil Saltzman in the second race.
To get genuine regard with just a furlong left.
And there's the second race at Philadelphia Park. Well, you can be plunging on all kinds of tracks at Pompano for simulcasting any day, 7 days a week. The track features free admission, free general parking every day, live harness racing, and the poker room open like today and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Poker starts at noon at Pompano Park, and live racing gets underway tonight, 7:05 p.m. And every Monday night, like tonight, there's 2 for $25 dinner specials in the Top of the Park restaurant. Every Wednesday night through December 17, the Hooters girls will be at Pompano Park for $1 nights, helping serve draft beers and meeting racing fans. Did you get out to see the Broward County Mummers on Saturday?
No, sorry, I missed that somehow. I was busy.
Pompano Park, like I said, also open every day, 7 days and nights a week, featuring the best in harness, thoroughbred, highlight simulcasting action from all across North America for you to watch and plunge your guts out. Pompano Park, you'll find it a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. For that new racing schedule, you can go online at pompanopark.com or call 954-972-2000. Don't forget a great live racing card tonight and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 7:05 at Pompano Park.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Yo, 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 it's the 1 to 2 hour. Yeah, boy.
I am Mo Howard, the David, decrepit and I'm ancient. All over my old face are blue and reddish boys bold face. I don't know why they hate me, or why they always rate me. It must be cause I got these blue and reddish boys bold
A
face.
vein mark on my arm, like a Ram McNally Mapalaka. I got veins on my nose, and nobody knows that under my clothes I wear pantyhose. But that don't mean that I'm gay. If you think my arms are bad, you ought to see my legs. I might as well keep them smooth and shaved to show a little class the next time I'm raping him. I could go to a surgeon, but that gives me the shivers. I would not want to walk out looking like Joan Rivers. Where am I here? I fired the beast, the fat little freak. I did him a favor. Now he can't afford to eat. The reason I dismissed that stinking fat bastard is because he wouldn't shut up, and he can't play canasta. Hey, somebody talking over there. Nobody talks when I rap. I rap, then you talk. Hey, look at me. I'm hip, hip. I ain't no square. I'm a ding-dong Betty, man. I'm really dead. I fire anyone I want. I don't care. Especially if they make me flip my wig made of smelly green hair. I got fired myself. It even happens to the greats. Westwind once said, you get out of here or else we break your legs. So now I sit by the pool. Life's as good as it gets. With my paladin cocktail, placing bets on the Jets. In paradise. Paradise. I don't kiss nobody's ass in paradise. I'll be slipping down the Scoogans when I get the chance, but the cleaners aren't ready with my lime green pants. How long does it take? Guilty calling complaint. It was just a little thought, so what I left to stay. You think that's funny? Want a knuckle sandwich, buddy? I can do what I want, because the management loves me.
Can I tell you something, Mo? Something you ought to know. For the longest time, I wanted you to be my hoe.
You ain't my type, pal. Now answer it. Tell no. What are you doing?
I won't take no for an answer.
Get out of here. What is... Not you.
Get
out of there.
Get up, bitch.
Do.
103 at 560 WQAM. Anyway, CNN sure making a big stir. Must be a slow news day. You know, we had one more American soldier killed in a drive-by in Mosul, but they don't want to talk about that.
No.
Because the Uptown Theater in Toronto that collapsed, they're just hyperventilating and foaming at the mouth. And also it said on there on CNN, cause unknown, as if,
terrible.
It was a dilapidated old building, and they were doing construction work inside and, like, caved in.
Here we have a fourth alarm here, which is approximately 100 Toronto firefighters.
Is there a danger to the firefighters and the crews?
Well, certainly until we can support the large I-beam that's in question, we have an engineer here on the site. We have to ensure that beam is supported, and when it's supported, then it would be safer for our crews to move.
I mean, there were some students inside taking a language course, but, like, I think 5, and they said there might still be one person inside. But it's not like the end of the world. See what I'm saying?
Right. I know something
way more. It must be a slow
important.
news day because they're hyperventilating about it. That was from City Pulse I just put on. I wouldn't put CNN on a story for here, would I? No.
Looked like a pile of black tar paper when we got in there. What is that? What is the debris made?
Well, the roofing felt that you see is typical to a flat roof.
Anyway, speaking of the Flat Roof Society and the Flat Earth Society.
Before you do that.
Yes?
Thank you, Brad, at Tony's at 193rd and 441 for this wonderful lunch today.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
Okay.
Man, it's delish.
Yes, it is.
I can almost smell it right here.
Mm.
Anyway, a senior executive with Britain's biggest drugs company admitted that most prescription medicines do not work on most people who take them.
That's not funny.
Alan Roses rhymes with Moses, worldwide vice president of genetics at GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, said fewer than half the patients prescribed some of the most expensive drugs actually derive any benefit from them. It is an open secret within the drug industry that most of its products are ineffective in most patients, but this is the first time that such a senior drug boss has gone public. His comments come days after it emerged that the NHS drug bill has soared by nearly 50% in 3 years, rising by £2.3 billion a year to an annual cost to the taxpayer of £7.2 billion. This is English, of course. GSK announced last week that had 20 or more new drugs under development that could each earn the company up to $1 billion a year. Dr. Roses, an academic geneticist from Duke University, North Carolina, spoke at a recent scientific meeting in London where he cited figures on how well different classes of drugs work in real patients. Drugs for Alzheimer's disease work in fewer than 1 in 3 patients, whereas those for cancer are only effective in a quarter of patients. Drugs for migraines, osteoporosis, and arthritis work in about half the patients. Most drugs work in fewer than 1 in 2 patients, mainly because the recipients carry genes that interfere in some way with the medicine. Some industry analysts said Dr. Rose's comments were reminiscent of the 1991 gaffe by Gerald Ratner, the jewelry boss, who famously said that his high street shops are successful because they sold total crap. But
I love it.
But others believe how do you like that?
All the crap you can unwrap.
You got it. But But others believe Dr. Roses deserves credit for being honest about a little publicized fact known to the drug industry for many years. Roses is a smart guy, and what he is saying will surprise the public, but not his colleagues, said one industry scientist. He is a pioneer of a new culture within the drug business based on using genes to test for who can benefit from a particular drug. Well, that would be nice to know before you took it, wouldn't it?
Nah.
Unless you're just wasting the money and the pills.
Just buy it and eat it.
By the way, did you know that Republicans like pork?
Yeah, I did.
Before they took control of Congress nearly 9 years ago, Republicans often mocked the Democratic practice of larding government spending bills with provisions that earmarked funds for pet projects, in particular lawmakers' districts and states. But a $328.1 billion bill that the Republican-led House is going to pass today, funding a grab bag of government agencies, takes earmarking to greater heights and uses it for what Democrats claim are new partisan purposes. What a surprise. The bill includes an eye-popping number of earmarks, around 7,000 by one estimate, at a cost of several $billion. Other spending bill. And by the way, before we go to the moon, how about if we spend that money on Homeland Security?
Shut up.
So we still might be around to be able to go to the moon? I mean, talk about desperate. Other spending bills bring the grand total for the year to more than 10,000 pieces of pork. In that long list are big items big and small, from $100,000 for street furniture and sidewalks in Laverne, Alabama, to $44 million for a bridge to Treasure Island in Florida, a plum for the Tampa Bay District of House Appropriations Chairman C.W. Bill Young. But more than that, to a degree unseen since their 1995 takeover, the majority Republicans are publicly flaunting their power to use pork for explicitly partisan purposes. Traditionally, the dominant party oils the legislative machinery by setting aside a healthy fraction of earmarked funds for the minority This year, in a key section of the spending bill, the Republicans got stingy. They were irate when House Democrats voted en masse in July against their version of the annual spending bill for the Labor, Education, and Health and Human Services Departments. As punishment in the Labor, Health, and Education provisions of the pending bill, they're denying Democrats the customary minority share of what euphemistically are known on Capitol Hill as member projects. Increasingly, Republican critics such as Representative Jeff Flake of Arizona are isolated voices when they criticize their own party for outdoing the Democrats in lavishing of pork. Republicans ridiculed this forever, but now we're in and we'll see how much fun it is, Flake said. There's no shame anymore. Among his favorites, an omnibus spending bill, sarcastically that is, $75,000 for a North Pole transit system in Alaska, $200,000 for a program at Cleveland's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and $325,000 for a swimming pool in Salinas, California. The authorship of some earmarks is easy to determine. Most Alaska items, for example, are inserted into spending bills by Senate Appropriations Chairman Ted Stevens, an obnoxious Republican from Alaska, to benefit his home state. The same is true for projects championed by Senator Robert Byrd, the committee's ranking Democrat for his state, West Virginia, but a vast number of earmarks are harder to trace because the legislative language doesn't identify who suggested them. Ready for that?
No, I'm not.
So while, Rome is burning and Nero is fiddling and they're spending your money like it's come out of a faucet, but we can't afford to do this and we can't afford to do that, and the new Medicare bill, of course, leaves the old folks out in the lurch between $2 and $5 grand.
We're going to the moon.
Boy, if we could just find a way. Remember the Chinese spacemen?
Yeah.
Maybe we could have some fellow passengers for them. They could all sing Deutschland über alles together on the way up. Global warming could submerge 3 large Indian cities. Here's another example of the kind of fairy tales you get from this administration. I think it's appropriate that the religious nuts and these people are like all tied in together because they specialize in spinning fairy tales. Global warming could submerge 3 of India's biggest cities beneath the sea by 2020 unless the crisis was brought under control, an Indian scientist warned yesterday. If the warming continues, there will be about half to 1 meter increase in sea level by 2020, and cities like Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras will be completely submerged, said Rajiv Nigam, a scientist with the Geological Oceanography Division in the western Indian state of Goa. He said a 1 meter rise in sea level could cause $147.25 billion worth of damage in property to Goa alone. If this is the quantum of damage in a small state like Goa that has only 2 districts, imagine the extent of property loss in metros like Bombay, he said. He also predicted that global warming would cause frequent cyclones along the coastal areas and affect the annual monsoon rain, which is crucial for India's farm-dependent economy. And for those of you who say, well, who the hell cares about India? George and I were discussing before the show today, Florida will be next, since you're 3 feet above sea level.
Right.
See?
Not for long we won't.
No.
Under the sea.
But there's no such thing as global warming, okay? It's just those tree huggers that are all bellyaching about that. Just let the big business people, just trust them, okay? They'll do the right thing.
Of course they will.
Just let them control those emissions. How often do you attend religious services? We asked on our second poll today. 258 people have chimed in. Never 149. Rarely 63. That's 82.1%. Only on major holidays 21. Very often, religiously 13, 5%. Fairly often 12, 4.6%. So we have under 10% of this crowd that are like fairly, very into the God Squad thing. That's good. We're working on them feverishly.
Not good enough.
We're trying to deprogram the masses out there from all of this crap, from believing the word of idiots that lived thousands of years ago, that were so primitive they didn't know that every time it rained it was an act of God. And let me say it again. Who's going to get the concession on that ark? Man, would you like to have the sanitation concession on that thing?
Before the fact, not after.
12 minutes after 1 at 560 WQM. Look at that, the way that phone is now, man. Just like at noon, it's just, that's okay. I got piles here, man. I got piles of stuff, but I thought we'd like intersperse here and there, didn't you?
Well, I thought, but
who cares? Let me tell you about a great place where they're interspersing great value with great service and name brand quality, and that's Brandy Shoes in Pompano Beach. This year celebrating 25 years of doing you folks right in South Florida. They got a fantastic selection of men's and women's famous brand shoes. Rockports, Echoes, Mephisto, Timberland, Clarks, SAS, Florsheim. You want them? They got them. And no matter how big or small your feet are, they can fit you perfect because they got all the sizes, men's 6 to 15, women's 5 to 12, and widths from the very, very narrow to the very fat and wide. And with over 40,000 pair in stock in their 8,000 square foot mega store, you can bet Ralph Reed's life on it that exactly what you're looking for is in stock ready to slap on your foot. Brandy's Shoes, you'll find them in that same great location, 1290 North Federal Highway, Pompano Beach. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 9, Sundays 10 to 5. All this week at Brandy's, men's Rockport Pro Walkers are only $48.90. You can also save up to 57% on other select Rockport styles this week at Brandy's. Stop in the store or visit them on the web at brandyshoes.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Ground control to Major Wong. Ground control to Major Wong. When you get your egg roll, put some soy sauce on. Ground control to Major Wong. 8, 7. Lunchtime over, order dinner now. 4, 3. Unless you tell us, we gon' put on MSG. Rifter. This is ground control to Major Wong. Your total 2370. But you live outside the delivery area. And that's how come you gotta come and pick it up. Yeah. Let me through the back door. Yeah. This is Major Wong to ground control. I got a few complaints. How the heck I supposed to eat the wonton soup when you forget to give me a plastic spoon, you fool? What's this? Why you don't give me mustard packet? No mustard packet to put on sesame chicken. Oh boy, this is gonna be a real bad fight. You left out my pork fried rice? What are you thinking, stupid?
So Todd, Chronic Todd in Hollywood says if Bush wants to go to the moon, speaking of that bit, why doesn't he move to Arizona with the rest of the senile little farts in America? Just wondering, says Todd. Good question. And soon. One killed as the Uptown Theater collapses. This from the Toronto Star. The rear of portion of the old Uptown Theater in downtown Toronto collapsed this morning, caving in the roof of an adjacent building, killing one person and trapping others in the rubble. According to Toronto Fire Chief Bill Stewart, 14 people have been pulled from the rubble and sent to hospital for treatment. One other person is still trapped inside. Police would only say the deceased is a male who was confirmed dead at the scene. Collapse happened 10:30 this morning while demolition crews were working on tearing down the shuttered Toronto landmark. Now, do you see the difference between the real story and CNN, which says, oh, cause of the collapse isn't known? Right. The rear portion of the old Uptown Theater in downtown Toronto collapsed this morning, caving in the roof of an adjacent building, Stewart said, while demolition crews were working on tearing down the shuttered building. Got it? Is it difficult to understand why it caved in? No.
Could you go over it again?
Yeah, just in case anybody from the Miami CNN Bureau is listening, you idiots, you. They've had all the Toronto firefighters and police on there on the air. Why can't they get it straight? Remember what I was telling you last week about reading the crawl on air on CNN?
Right.
Don't think you're ever going to get anything even remotely close to reality on that. Assholes. God, do they suck.
Do they?
NRA looks to buy media outlet and be exempt from election rules. Speaking of right-wing assholes. Hoping to spend as much as it wants on next year's elections, the National Rifle Association is looking to buy a television or radio station and declared that it should be treated as a news organization exempt from spending limits in the campaign finance law. Just looking for a little bit of a loophole, eh? We're looking at bringing a court case that were as legitimate a media outlet as Disney or Viacom or Time Warner, the NRA's executive vice president, the goofy Wayne LaPierre, told the AP. Why should they have an exclusive right to relay information to the public, and why should not NRA be considered as a legitimate news source as they are? That's never been explored legally, he said in an interview. The nation's gun lobby is talking with potential investors about an NRA broadcast outlet and is considering all possible funding sources, including gun manufacturers, LaPierre said. if the NRA were to be considered a media organization, it would be free to say what it wanted about candidates at any time and spend corporate money to do so, such as for commercials. The right-wing group, financed in part with corporate money, is now banned under the campaign finance law from running ads just before election that mention federal candidates who are on states' ballots. The 4 million member group has long been one of Washington's most powerful and unctuous lobbies. It has spent millions of dollars over the years trying to influence elections toward candidates who oppose gun controls and support the position that Americans have an incontestable right to bear arms and are just as crazy or gun nuts as they are. How do you like that?
Whatever.
5670560. See, the reason that we're not getting a lot of response now is because we're not spending all of our time bemoaning the Dolphin loss yesterday, crying up a storm, and in fact, I'm taking great delight in it. Number two, all bent out of shape because the Marlins sent Pudge packing.
Well, it's not too late. You could start.
Start what?
Bemoaning.
There's not a call on the board there. We're doing Screenless, and there's nobody even on there. Because that's what we should be talking about today to satisfy the South Florida audience. God forbid we should talk about anything that means anything. Yeah. 567, last call for calls, man. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. And if you think I'm taking that line 6 first, you're dreaming. WQAM. WQAM.
I got something to say.
Do you?
I lost my bra. I lost it in my boyfriend's car.
All right. WQAM.
Hey, Neil, good afternoon and happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, sir. It sounds like the folks are off to an early start. Yeah.
Neil.
Yeah.
Just want to talk a few things that's going on down here in South Florida. The sky's still falling.
Yeah. The sky's still falling, and he's turning up the radio so he can squeeze himself out. Here's the sound of his own voice.
Squirt, squirt.
Wow, that was quick. WQAM.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm pissed off about a couple things. See if I can get it off my chest.
Go right ahead. Pull it off your chest.
First of all, I think, why the hell did they let Wannstedt come back to Miami? They should have buried his ass over there in the snow up north.
Yeah.
Second of all,
wouldn't you have fired his ass right after that game, sir?
Right, in halftime. During the halftime festivities, I would have took him out in the middle of the field and fired his ass right on the spot.
Right on the field in front of her, made a dress on the PA system and thrown snowballs at him.
Absolutely correct, sir. And the other thing that I'm really pissed off at is that why is it that in every other country when the government does something that the people are opposed to, they go out in masses and they go and complain and they close the streets down there, and over here everybody just sits down and has their thumbs up their ass or something. I don't know.
They're too busy looking for bargains, man. They're shopping till they drop. Have a great day, Pally.
Hey, you too.
Dave Wannstedt blows, which is good for the Patriots, by the way. We're delighted to see him getting outcoached week after week most of the time, except when they're playing like a little girls' team or a team that doesn't show up on a given day. 5670560. Boy, that game a week from tonight. Wow, is that going to be something or what?
Yeah.
Woo! Man. Get the smelling salts for that, baby. WQAM.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes, I am.
Good afternoon, sir. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you. I just wanted to say
happy heathen holidays to you.
That Dolphin launch yesterday was the best thing that could have happened to them, man. I'm a season ticket holder, I'm a fan, and I want Dave out of here so bad. I didn't want him from day one. He makes me sick. And I watched that game with my father, and he said, Wannstedt, that's either Danish or German. I said, he's Danish, Pop. He doesn't have enough balls to be German. They need to get him out of here. Happy holidays, Neil. I'll talk to you later.
Back to you,
Bye-bye.
Pally. See, they want to spend the entire day. We blew it today, man. We should have done the whole thing on that, done a sports show.
See,
you could have taken a nap. You could have taken a nap.
Sure, I got a pillar.
Right. What else is new? No, seriously, we could have done the whole damn thing on. Let's, what's the story? What's the problem? I mean, it's important stuff, isn't it?
No.
It's, like,
sure.
Yeah. I mean, aren't we cursed in South Florida, George?
Accursed.
We're accursed, man. First of all, the Dolphins just don't even show up, and just an anemic excuse for an offense in New England in the snow and the game of the century for them. Don't even put a single point on the board, which is kind of hard in football to put 1 point on the board, but nevertheless, none, zero, a goose egg. And then we find out last night that the deadline comes and goes, and the Marlins have sent Pudge packing. All he wanted was like $100 million a game, something like that, to keep feeding his fat ass. I would tell you, you know how I feel about the sports nerds, but you know the ones that really piss me off more than any are the ones who try to justify the greed that has caused so many of us to like just abandon sports, period. About 90%.
I know them.
They still support it. Oh,
Sure.
You're wrong about that, Neil. These guys go out there and they have to go to training and blah, 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 and they have to, right.
It's
stay
what the
in
market
top
will
fiscal
bear,
shape
Neil. It's what the
for
market
like
will
15 and 20 million a year. And let me say it again, which I noticed we haven't had one call about it, the NHL and those phony attendance figures and how the Panthers are trying to goose up the numbers to impress Gary Bettman. Who the hell are you people kidding, man? Alan Cohen, you may be a nice guy, never met the guy, but what you knew about running a hockey club, you could stick up Wayne's ass and have room for the Chinese Army left over and all the Blockbuster stores too, which you can stick in there, and the AutoNation franchises as well. Who the hell are you guys kidding? They aren't drawing flies to that place, and so what they're doing to every season ticket holder, offering free tickets for one game so that they can, and they're even blatant enough to tell you, we want to put on a good show so Commissioner Bettman will think that we really have some interest here, that this is a viable franchise. Right. 127 at 560 WQM. Why not let the #1 Asian buffet restaurant, Emerald Coast, do all the cooking for you this holiday season? Reserve your holiday party now. Emerald Coast can accommodate even the largest groups. Start out that mouth-watering. See, I'm already tongue-tied just from thinking about it. Start that mouth-watering eating experience with 6 different soups, or whichever ones you like, and then sample dozens of succulent entrees. New York strip made to order at their sizzling Asian grill, along with their brand-new seafood Saint-Jacques. Enjoy oysters on the half-shell every night. And there's lots more, too. Try their Alaskan stone crab, middle-neck clams, jumbo shrimp scampi, and lobster thermidors on the weekends. If you still have room, sample their hand-carved prime rib, plus their new Thai specialties, too. The Emerald Coast always promotes healthy living. They cook all of their fine cuisine with only cholesterol-free oils, and, of course, no MSG, no starch, no crap. Their buffet features a full salad bar, their new sushi bar, fresh shrimp cocktail, and because you deserve it, the Emerald Coast features a full dessert station. So try to save a little bit of room or just jam some in your pants. They got Belgian waffles, pies, cakes, pastries, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, even fresh fruit, the perfect ending to a gigantic pig out at the Emerald Coast. 3 locations for you in South Florida. They're on Sunrise at Pine Island on 44th Street, Collins Avenue just north of 163rd Street, North Miami Beach, and also at the intersection of Flamingo and Pembroke Roads in prestigious Pembroke Pines. So take the whole family or book your next business luncheon right now. For the holidays, let the folks do the cooking for you at the Emerald Coast. Takeout delivery always available, too. Call 954-572-3822. 954-572-3822 for the world-famous Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours. QAM.
Stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
Miami has the Dolphins, they're the worst football team. They flub the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen.
Oy!
They're on the ground, that's where they'll stay. They're never in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking toilet bowl, 'cause they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
30, man.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Don't bet on them, you'll always lose. They don't know how to tackle. They don't know how to block. Their coaches ought to tell them to put Bengay in their jocks. Then they would run much faster, and even in defeat. When we go to the stadium, we'll see Miami Heat, and they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. The team that hasn't got a clue. Miami has the Dolphins, but the Dolphins have no fans. Just 50,000 assholes sitting in the stands. Yes. They watch the game and all they do is moan and gripe and bitch. I wonder how Joe Robbie got to be so goddamn rich. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Oy! Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league? 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. I hear the crowd begin to boo. The Dolphins have Jay Fiedler That quarterback's a Jew. Run down the field and he will throw a pass over you. He'll never win a Super Bowl. You shouldn't be surprised. When he gets cut, that doesn't mean that he was circumcised. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number. How many teams in the league?
32.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Jay calls his signals in Hebrew. The Dolphins have no defense and their offense is a joke. Like George Bush eating pretzels, you know they're gonna choke. They'll always disappoint you when they're in a playoff race, with fewer points than pockmarks on Huizinga's ugly face. And they're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number, oh what the hell, 32. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, now they're through. Oh!
Okay, everybody feel better now? All right.
Oh, yeah.
Mad Dog will be along at 2, but that should be a real wake this afternoon between 2 and 4. My God. Woo. Anyway, how often you attend religious services? Maybe you could pray for the Dolphins, huh? Couldn't hurt. They'll need it Monday. 316 people on here. Never 177. We never go to church. 56%. Rarely 81. 25 point, like I said, 82. 25.5. Rarely go to church. That's, so let's see. Together that's 82.5%. 81.5%. Only on major holidays, 28. Very often, I go religiously, 16, 4.9%. And fairly often, 15, 4.6. So that's 9.5%. 9 point, yeah. Not bad, huh?
I'll take it.
I'll tell you who's really getting religion, the cockroaches. You want to know why?
Why?
The cockroaches are celebrating as the U.S. leads way toward new nuclear arms race.
That's right.
It'll be all theirs pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
The Energy and Water Appropriations Bill signed by President Bush last week is being celebrated by cockroaches the world over. The bill, among other things, provides funding for research in developing nuclear weapons with first strike capability.
Oh, my God.
We are now one step closer to nuclear war, and if the path we're following is pursued to its logical conclusion, the information age will be followed by a radioactive cockroach era. The tragic irony here is that while the president speaks forcefully about the need to stem the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, his administration is pursuing policies that is likely to inflame the global threat. The entire story will be on our website tomorrow from commondreams.org. I just mentioned that in passing. Cockroaches maybe have a party for the holidays. 5670560, pound 560 on it. Well, listen, he's got his policies have to be good for somebody, right?
Right.
The roaches. And not the kind you're interested in.
No, never is.
WQAM.
Yeah, I was just wondering, being that the Dolphins are in a little bit of trouble, but if we remember what happened with the Marlins, maybe we can rally and maybe even we can get over to the Panthers and let it all become one big group and they all can rally and we can get all 3 trophies to this.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think you got your thumb on him, man. Woo! Take your thumb off. Release some pressure. He's got his thumb on it too tight. Yeah, let's rally behind. Did the city rally behind the Marlins? No, they just took off and started winning every day by themselves. Then all of a sudden, when they got in the playoffs, then hey, that wasn't rallying behind anybody. That was jumping on a bandwagon. Only the last few games of the season they had some big crowds. When it became obvious that there was something going on there. There's something going on with the Dolphins, all right. You can smell it. I can smell it right here. I can open up the window in Toronto and I can. Oh man, that's that dolphin stench, that cow manure stuff that Mad Dog's talking about. That's Dave Wanstead, just blew a big one. 56705. As far as the Panthers are concerned, you notice no comment about that. And of course we have like 10 other season ticket holders, maybe more than 10.
About 30, man.
I'm sure got the same email that I got. Oh yeah, we want to put a good show on for Gary Bettman, the commissioner, when he comes to the town. So please take advantage of the 4 free tickets for that game. So it looks like there's people who really want to buy tickets for this crap we're putting out there. See?
Only 4.
Yeah, only 4. Well, I'm sure if you ask for more, you get all you want.
Oh, okay.
maybe not 4 tickets, maybe like 4 sections.
I want to bring my church.
WQAM.
Yeah, thank God man doesn't live by sports alone.
Right, amen. You'd be in big trouble.
The Pudge Packer, Where else is he going to get his money and not have to pay a state income tax?
Yeah, good point. Hey, screw him. Send him back to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, okay.
With his fat ass. Thank you. Yeah, screw him. His whiny comments. Yeah, the guy's made, when he was in Texas, he was making millions and millions, and I have no idea how much he's made in his career, but he's made more in his career than all of us put together will make in our lifetimes. Put together, okay? No question about it. And yet it's still not good enough, and why didn't they even offer me a raise? I won the MVP in the series, you know. Cry your ass out of town on the bus, okay? Beaner, get lost with your big fat ass and your statue, your monument to yourself on your front lawn there. What a clown. And by the way, maybe a few more Hail Marys and a couple of crossings yourself will get you that extra few million next season. Yeah, that's what he needs. See, he didn't do enough Hail Marys. That was his problem.
Well, he wasn't paid by the one.
Una problema grande. What is it?
Un culo grande?
Oh, yeah.
Rectum.
You can say that again. 20 till 2 at 560. I beg your pardon?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I said not on a bet I couldn't.
I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to do the break. I'm just going to sit here and wait. I'll wait until hell freezes over. Mandich ain't even get on today. I'm just going to sit here and sit here.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
On the North Korean Food Channel, Chef Kim brings us the best in show from Westminster.
Kim's Canine Cuisine features shepherd soup and a bulldog broth, served with collie cutlets and French poodle fries.
What does a poodle like this fetch nowadays?
I don't know. Here, boy, fetch!
I understand collie reheats well, too.
Yep, just nuke it up.
But won't that upset the U.S. government?
It's the best in show from Westminster, tonight on the Korean Food Channel.
Violation! Violation!
I got a great website for you, and now I can't find it.
Oh, damn it.
tontasdelculo.com. Yeah. I'm telling you. Okay. Laugh now.
Really?
Yeah. Type it in. tontasdelculo, all one word, .com. It'll keep you busy while you're sitting there, Redford praises Reed but blasts Bush's energy bill in Nevada stop. Robert Redford, active and longtime conservationist Robert Redford, criticized the Bush administration's energy legislation, calling it one of the worst bills he's seen in his lifetime.
Absolutely correct, sir.
At a news conference before attending a fundraiser for Democratic Nevada Senator Harry Reid, Redford said the bill was flawed from the start since it was designed behind closed doors by Vice President Dick Cheney and oil industry executives. It is one of the greatest disgraces of my time, Redford said yesterday. It's a bad bill, a horrible bill, said Bobby. I believe that now for my lifetime, I've never known a time more threatening and dangerous to the American people at large or the country at large on a wide range of issues, he added. Redford said the legislation places too much dependence on fossil fuels and not enough stress on alternative energy sources and conservation measures. Republican congressional leaders have vowed to return the measure early next year after failing 2 Senate votes short of 2 votes sending a bill to Bush in November. How do you like that? Even Bobby Redford knows. The nose knows. 567-0560, pound 560. Come on, let's get an early start here. Call in right now and start bemoaning the dolphin and the pudge packing, huh?
Chicas rusas gratis.
See, there you go. Grab one.
I'm just reading some of the stuff on this website.
I told you. What did I tell you? Can I put my finger on it or what? Oh, I don't want to put my finger on too much of that. Not what I'm seeing there. 567-0560. We're doing Screenless, and it's desperate. It must be the holidays. Or maybe they want to talk about important stuff. I doubt it. 30 QAM. QAM.
Speak to Neil, please.
Speaking.
Neil, hey, Wayne Huizenga, did you see what happened to his brother?
Yeah, we had it answered. It wasn't his brother, it was his son. Get it right. God, so many stupid people in so little time. Did you see what happened to his brother? We had the story on 3 hours ago, sir, and it wasn't his brother, it was his son, and it wasn't the first time. It was the second DUI, okay? I just mentioned that in passing. Did you see what happened to his brother-in-law? Oh, God. And I'm sitting here, I'm going to change the world on WQAM in Miami. We're going to change the world. We're going to solve all the problems of the world. Right here. Before 2 o'clock, no less. WQAM.
Hi, can I speak to Neil?
Speaking. Speaking.
Oh, Neil, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't be sorry, please.
Well, it's just the day, you know. it seems like only 2 to 3 months ago, Neil, we lived in a blessed city with the
Mhm.
hurricanes and the fins, and
Right.
and now look at it.
Now it's a piece of crap. Thank God I'm not there, man.
Oh, I'm telling you, you're so lucky to be in Toronto.
Right, amen. Leafs have won 8 in a row, by the way, and the Raptors 4 in a row. I don't want to rub it in.
But anyway, goodbye to Pudge.
Okay. Yeah, they'll Pudge pack for you, Pudge. They'll be more than happy to pack you. Now, what are the Puerto Ricans eating? And what's your language? What's their specialty?
I'm afraid I wouldn't know.
Yeah, what is there like a cuisine? I mean, in Canada, of course, we don't have much of cuisines like Canadian bacon and
back
smoked
bacon,
meat in Montreal.
Right.
I mean, not much. But Puerto Ricans, what is their thing?
One will have to call and tell you.
We'll have to talk to a Rican. Maybe we can work on that tomorrow.
Hey, Ralph.
Yeah, right, that's right. PR Ralph can fax us tomorrow and let us know what the Puerto Ricans eat that we can say on the air. In fact, I think you're looking at some of it on that website.
Yes, I am.
WQAM.
Yes, can I speak with Dr. Laura, please?
Speaking. She's right here. Woody.
Yeah.
The unctuous Woody. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling about, I don't remember, if you remember, when they liberated Baghdad, Donald Rumsfeld, that idiot, compared it to the liberation of Paris in World War II. I sure as hell don't remember the Parisians killing the Allies and murdering the Allies the year after that they liberated them.
Yeah, but these guys we didn't remind them to welcome us with candy and flowers. We forgot to remind them before we started bombing. That was the problem. Have a great day, Pally. Yeah, they're going to welcome us with open arms and open barrels. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Another dead American soldier in Mosul. They're not talking about that too much for some strange reason in the media. They just put it as a crawl on the bottom of the screen. It's not even a news story anymore. We had one person die here in Toronto. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing with a collapse of that old theater that they were tearing down. But the fact of the matter is, wouldn't you think that when an American soldier dies in Iraq, it's a much bigger story than some little cave-in building in Toronto to the rest of the world? I would certainly think so, wouldn't you? Yes. Anybody with a half a brain? Yes. They're not CNN, certainly not News Network, because they're part and parcel of the goddamn problem. And then they put on their dog and pony show there with Mother Tucker Carlson and Paul Begala. Bop, 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 beep, the left against the right and all the contrived controversy a la Mr. Ego, all of that crap. And it's all just a bunch of stage crap. Or like the days when Novak is on. Have you ever seen when he hosts that show, when he's on there?
No.
Really?
Really?
When you see what a great urinalist and broadcaster he is, and it gets to the end of the show, and of course he's got that angry look on his face. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of Crossfire! I mean, they should gong him off the stage. That's right. On the Gong Show, they'd have gonged his ass off of there. Crossfire! With a real fake phony trying to be like oh, please. All just show business. Taking serious stuff. People are dying who shouldn't be dying every goddamn day. The whole world is in a balance of it, and they got a goddamn dog and pony show going on. I'd rather watch the goddamn Westminster Kennel Club myself.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
For cripe's sake, she's only got one eye.
Amico, BP, Bechtel, Vanilla and Shell, Halliburton, Unical, Chevron, and GE. Northrop, Enron, MCI, WorldCom, Baker and Botts, KLR, and Care McGee. Kellogg, Brown and Root, Carlisle and the Rendon Group, Murder Docs, Fox News and Reuters, Sung Young Moon. Choice Point Democracy by Database Technologies, Chuck Hagel's Diebold, blocking out your vote. George Bush is a liar, exploiting 9/11 for a global empire. George Bush is a liar, impeach the unelected White House occupier. Dick Cheney, Wolfowitz, Richard Pearl, another Dick, Andrew Card, Karl Rove, and Mark Rack-Tick-Tick-Co. Oh! Neil Bush, Jeb Bush, George P. and Daddy Bush, Preston and Columba, Noel, not to mention Marvin. Trader Bob Novak, stab CIA in the back. Rumsfeld says all is well, another soldier died. Oh! Outspoken Democrat, in the mail they get anthrax. Carnahan, Wellstone, dead before their time. George Bush is a liar, like all his corporate neocons with Nazi hard-ons. George Bush is a liar, and the sinister media has you believing it. George Bush is a liar. This song is something that'll never get on Clear Channel. George Bush is a liar, but traitor and an idiot and criminal piece of shit. George Bush is a liar, 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 liar.
Absolutely correct, sir.
156 at 560 WQAM. So we have, I'll tell you, Eric's on the ball, man, since you whipped him into shape. You know that story about the cockroaches? I sent it to him to put on tomorrow's website. He's got it on there now.
All right.
By Sean Gonzalez about the cockroaches we'll be celebrating.
All right.
Once we see that gigantic mushroom cloud, baby. I kind of like mushroom soup myself more than the mushroom cloud.
Yeah, mushroom
Don't
and
you just
barley.
love mushroom soup?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like it. 366 people have registered their godliness or lack thereof on the poll. How often you attend religious services? And the reason I took that poll today was because only 7.5% of the audience on the poll we took over the weekend said the one thing they disagree with me most about is religion. Only 7.5%, which I thought was pretty dang good. 206 of you say you never go to religious services. Never. 56.2%, to which I commend you highly. I mean, you could sit around picking your nose and spend your time more productively and enjoyably. Just don't bleed.
Right.
Rarely 92, 25.1%, so that's 81.3% either never or rarely attend services. Only on major holidays, 31, so there's 8.4. So what's that? 81.3 and 8.4 is 90.3 or 7, something like that, right?
I don't know. Take your word for it.
Fairly, well, I can tell you exactly what it is because it's 90%, because the 10% are like fairly often 19 and very often religiously 18, so that's 10%. Got it?
Got it.
Out of 366. That's promising, man. Now if we could just spread the word. That guy before talked about spreading the dolphin, the Marlin thing, and the Panthers. Yeah, spread this. Spread your cheeks. He's got a lot of practice, no doubt. I'll tell you who's a real asshole, speaking of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Bill Maher is, not only is he a poor man's Dick Cavett, Bill Maher is comedy for people who are too stupid to understand Al Franken and Michael Moore.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? He's an idiot. He's an absolute moron. Wasn't he the one that wrote that book, If You Ride Alone, You're Riding with Osama?
So, I don't know.
Some crap like that.
Sure does wear a lot of pancake, though. I know that.
Oh, man, is he a moron. He's never said anything funny in his life. He's not interesting. He's not witty. He's just a little nerd, a little nebbish. Bill Maher has made another stab at career suicide, reports the New York Daily News. The Bush-bashing comic stunned some of Hollywood's most powerful liberals by joking about Bill Clinton's sexual indiscretions at a benefit honoring Senator Hilary Clinton. New York's junior senator was accepting an Oceana Partners Award in L.A. last Wednesday for her work on environmental issues. Maher emceed the event, which is also honoring marine explorer Jean-Michel Cousteau, as well as Ron Howard and his imagined partner Brian Glazer. Among the unamused in the audience were Oceana board member Ted Danson, Leo DiCaprio, hi Leo, Kiefer Sutherland, Diane Lane, Josh Brolin, Jake Gyllenhaal. Wasn't he in that movie with the little munchkins? And Kirsten Dunst, Norman Lear, and Jeffrey Katzenberg. Maher began bringing up Bill Clinton's blowjobs with Hillary sitting right there in front of him eating her chickens as a witness. It was just cruel. Ted Danson's wife, Mary Steenburgen, is a longtime friend of the senators. I can't believe they approved this crap. The former president, although not there, was listed as co-chairman of the event, which raised $600,000. Maher also took a shot at Cousteau, sniping, "That must feel great, getting a one-quarter standing ovation." Cousteau walked out of the building shortly afterward. Representatives for Danson and Clinton had no comment, other than to say, "Oh, that Maher, he's an asshole." Okay, the Mad Dog, it's time to say taps, baby. The Dolphin season is over. It's history. It was ugly. It was predictable. It was pathetic.
Bye, bye, bye. The Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.